I'm about to take you inside the most controversial and intense religious groups I've ever encountered.
The world is ours.
From a religion where its leader has married more than 50 wives.
His way of getting so many young girls to marry him was by forcing them to think that it was coming from God.
To literal modern-day Satanists.
Hail Satan! Hail Satan!
I'm gonna investigate these cults that are still active today. Our journey begins in the USA, where I'll be meeting a former member of a weight loss cult.
We're not going to think about food anymore.
Its founder, Gwen Shamblin, suspiciously died in a plane crash, but somehow, the Remnant Fellowship Church is still alive and thriving. So what's really going on here behind closed doors? And what will happen if I try to sneak in to convince the cult that I want to join? There's only one way to find out. Hey man, what's going on?
Hey, welcome.
This is Michael Black, the founder's son, who's on a mission to expose his mother's crimes, from body shaming and financial control to even more severe forms of manipulation.
This is where the magic happens.
The blackness of this room is scary.
It's a type of paint that sucks in light.
So why black? What is about black that you like?
I see Gwen changing into somebody that's narcissistic, controlling. I'm getting abuse, whatever, from the leadership, and I start, feeling this person, this persona or whatever, this black. And to me, it like represented like something who's tired of being abused by false religion. I started kind of experimenting with this persona, Michael Black. And it meant to me like it's a readiness that stands in the face of false religion. I'm not gonna be fooled today by lying women or lying leaders, if that makes sense. This is a 224. Valkyrie.
That looks like a badass weapon right there.
Yeah.
And you obviously have this for protection, but also like a hobby?
Protection. I've just, over the years. And then of course I had the death threat on my life, right? From Joe. This is a 338, easily concealed.
It feels like a toy. Is that what you would carry with you in the car?
I normally would like to have a little more stopping power than that. But, it's better than nothing, right? Oh yeah. So for the road, we take the CZ75. This is like my baby right here. Can't put the Glock down, my Glock is my hoe, and my hoe go everywhere I go. You know that song, right?
Yeah. It even says black on your cologne.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing. So the church started in 1999. I left the fall of 2021. That was after the crash.
After the plane crash? Do you think if the crash never happened, you'd still be in it?
I was on kind of a trajectory at that point. I was 19 when the church started. We had been in church all my life, different churches. Church of Christ. I don't know if you're familiar with Way Down Workshop. That was kind of the precursor to Remnant.
Got it.
And that was when we were young, growing up in Memphis.
It was a book, it was a class, it was a course.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it was faith-based weight loss. It was intuitive eating disguised as a religious Christ way of living. The idea wasn't necessarily new. It was around in the 70s, so you had stuff like praying away temptation, right? And it was in basically, I would say literally every single church denomination and church in the country had weight on going.
Wow. And when you were like 19 when it started, you were aware like, wow, like your mom started this, like you must have felt pretty special like at the time.
I was full support, and I was gullible and I was naive.
Up until 2021, did you think about leaving? Like you were?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But we were still like super isolated. So we weren't allowed to watch, a lot of outside media.
Got it.
A lot of outside music. We were in our own little bubble, and I kid you not. You're told the entire world is like Satan, and we are the only righteous people on earth.
You believe that this is a cult, right?
Oh yeah, for many, many reasons. There are people who literally would have done anything for Gwen. Gwen's word was like considered law.
I'm taking such tiny bites that I'm not gaining weight off of it, and I don't go beyond full.
She would be somebody that you would listen to like Moses or even Jesus. You know, there was a story of one of the guys. He was looking down while Glenn was speaking in the sanctuary, and he was reading his Bible. And David Martin, who's one of the top leaders, he told him, literally this verbatim, he said, if Jesus was in the sanctuary right now, he would be paying attention to Gwen.
Wow. So that is pretty
That was
cultish,
what was
yeah.
being taught.
It's so weird that that's your mom. Like,
I know.
that's your biological mother.
I started calling them the blonde-haired, blue-eyed devils. Her and those women. I started feeling more and more that she was about promoting herself. She was narcissistic. Maybe you've seen the Matrix.
Yeah, of course. I've seen
which came out in 1999. Gwen used that like that was meant for her and the Remnant. You remember when Neo's being trained and like everybody can turn into Smith. So this was the mindset she had us in. You're like looking around like anybody could become the enemy at any time.
That is crazy.
Lucifer is on the prowl looking for you. Demons dressed like angels are everywhere trying to get you to go sideways.
That kind of mindset though, you can see how people were shunning their families. And somebody inviting you to another church Satan was working through them.
And your sister is running the church now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you speak with her?
No.
At all?
No. We only communicate through attorneys.
So I lost mother, I lost father, I lost stepfather. My brother has left me.
They've also served me with some no trespassing papers. So if I actually drive on right now, they'll call the police. There's Remnant.
When's the last time you went in that building?
2021.
Do you get weird feelings just...
There's somebody pulling out right now. I prefer them not to see me right now
I don't
because
think
we just got here.
All right, so we are here. Right in front of us is the Remnant Church. Is that the only main church?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
I still can't believe Gwen Shamblin is Michael's mom. She lived a fancy life off the church's profits, enabled child abuse, and even defended 2 members who murdered their own son. But I'll get to that later. After her plane crashed, you'd think the church would fall apart, but it's still growing. To find out how, I got on the phone with someone who used to be on the inside, a former Remnant security guard.
What kind of things did you experience as part of the church?
Through my ex-wife, that was the main draw or attraction. She had done a class in her church before I was with her, and then it kind of resurfaced again after she had our firstborn, and then the weight loss was the main attractor.
At what point did you know something was wrong or didn't feel right or like...
Quite early on, I was kind of a duck out of water. It just seemed too frilly and fashion show-like. During the whole security, there were several times where there was members that had stalkers. To me, that was kind of a red flag. It was set up almost kind of like a military. The security cameras that were staged around the building.
So everyone was being stalked, basically, or watched.
During the worship service, people were being watched.
They got a room down in the basement, specifically to monitor, and it was multi-screen. And
really? That's creepy as hell.
And they can see people if they're like not looking at Gwen or what if they're talking amongst each other.
And would they call you out if you weren't looking at Gwen?
Yes, but they also they mainly were become persons of interest, I guess, if you will.
And they didn't know they were being watched.
No.
Until now?
No.
Is this happening now?
Oh, I'm sure it is. There was a list from leadership of people to watch out for. And there was guys posted perimeter-wise with full kit and with ARs, suppressed ARs.
They have their own shooting range.
Really?
How many churches have their own shooting range?
It's pretty crazy to talk to you about this as I'm staring at the church. It's just...
You know, churches have security teams nowadays. Yeah. Every church has that. Sure. But Remnant was leading the way, and they had a freaking army. One of the nights that I knew, it no longer is Christianity in my mind. I kind of just asked her, I said, if somebody was coming down the church drive and you knew they were coming after you, against you, they were ticked off. And she said, I'd have them shot down on the church drive. And I was like, so you would have somebody gunned down in the Remnant drive if you knew they were coming after you? She says, yes. And so that night, I remember leaving and going, you think of Christianity, like turning the other cheek, that teaching about forgiving, if someone strikes you, you turn the other cheek also. Yeah. It was nowhere to be found with Remnant. Remnant took everything to extremes. They have people that are in government intelligence that go to Remnant that are sympathetic.
Oh, wow.
And they would put together threat levels of people.
Wow. And
they were getting information that the average citizen couldn't get.
So they worked together, the government
and so the church Remnant.
How is that legal? That can't be legal.
It wasn't legal.
Yeah, that's not legal.
No, it's not. And if those people were found out, if I said their name, they would lose their job. I would catch them setting up cameras on tripods wherever I went.
Everywhere you went, someone was watching you.
Yes, they knew where I was everywhere I went.
And how did that make you feel?
drove me insane. I hated it. I went over to the Way Down building after church service one day to go just work in my studio at my office over there. I decided to sneak into Gwen's office, and I found a file she had on me that she had been collecting negative stuff about me since I was in high school.
What? Why would any mom do that to her kid?
I went through kind of a dark phase in high school. I found this file and it just literally just destroyed me, and I was like, what?
Did you confront her about that?
I never told her.
I think that's the creepiest thing that I've heard so far.
She was the genuine definition of narcissism, to where she would always know more than anybody else. She had to be the expert on everything.
Wow.
It was part of her control tactic.
Was she smart? She went to college and got a degree. Like, was she smart?
David Shamblin was smarter than her.
Tell
She
me-
was a good speaker, though.
Tell me about your dad.
And he actually had the divinity training.
Were you close with him before he passed?
Yes. After I left the church, we would go to lunch every single day. We hung out every single day. So we became best friends the last 2 years of his life. I only had 2 years with him, but
How did he pass?
pancreatic cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So she divorced him, filed against him 2017,
Oh, okay.
and the divorce was finalized 2018.
He left the church as well?
He left the church like a year into it, like in 2000. Like he was only there for about
Oh.
eight months.
Really? But they were married and he wasn't in the church?
Yes, that's right.
That's odd. It's a red flag from the start.
Yeah, and ironically, like he was really beloved to a lot of people in the city, and he knew a lot of people. She was the Gwen, the charismatic, you couldn't miss her. He never abused her. He didn't drink. He didn't do drugs. He didn't, he never cheated on her.
It's obvious that Michael has survived a lot of trauma, but opening up about it seems to be a positive step towards healing. Now we are heading to the building where it all started. Back in the 90s, before the church and before the cult, there was a diet class called Way Down that Gwen started, and we just arrived at the exact location.
Remnant actually worshipped here for the first 2 or 3 years of its existence.
They've sold the building now. So does Way Down exist anymore?
It exists as like still the weight loss classes that the Remnant.
Did you do Way Down?
I've heard probably 10,000 hours worth of it. But yeah, and I worked here for 3 years in the shipping department. My entire life has been based around Way Down Remnant.
So you were really skinny at one point?
Yeah. Hard to believe, huh? Yeah.
That's not what I was getting at. Because I've seen pictures of Gwen, and she was like a toothpick.
I've had hundreds to thousands of people write me on social media saying things like, Way Down program calls them to have eating disorders. So they're still to this day trying to unlearn the practices and things, the teachings that they had when they were in it. They would start pushing fasting, not eating for long periods of time.
So stop eating.
And then where it really got extreme was if you were in Remnant. You have people that are weight monitors, then you have leaders, so you're checking in constantly, and it caused people to go to extremes.
I'm trying to understand, why do they want people to lose weight? What's the significance of that?
Because that was the number one sin of Remnant, was weight. And so thinness would be equated with godliness.
Other religions don't believe this.
Gluttony is a sin like in the Catholic Church or something like that, but Way Down has taken it to the extreme. It is all appearance. It's how someone looks. It's how you're doing in your weight this week dictates how close you are to God.
Okay, got it.
So I think this is an important point, though,
Yeah,
is
please.
that it's women. Way Down was 99% women. I've actually started calling it the women's movement. It was women who run it. It was women who steer it. And so you have the ones who joined were like the families. It was headstrong women. They join Way Down. They get roped into joining the Remnant. They pull their husbands in. They pull their families in. It's strong women. It's women is what it's all been about.
Interesting.
So, just basic facts, diet programs in the 80s, 90s, whatever, 2000s, it's a lot more female than male. The teachings of Way Down, that's one of the dangerous parts of it. It's causing people to go to extremes, and you're doing it for God. So they would tell people that were struggling in Remnant, you need to fast for 40 days.
40 days? How do you even live? So did people die fasting?
If you have a lot of excess weight, it's possible, but it's not healthy. But people, there's been all sorts of issues where people have had internal damage to your organs and stuff like that, mess up your pregnancies.
Do you think Gwen had anorexia?
She one time confessed to me almost like that she had taken it so far that her body, she goes, I would eat just a few bites of salad and that's all I could eat for the day or I'd gain weight.
Wow.
What is it, your resting metabolic rate? It keeps going
It
down and
shuts
down
down.
as you're starving
Yeah.
more and more. So she was eating so little, but she was also wanting to drink alcohol.
Oh, she drank as well.
So she would drink wine, but eat a few bites of salad. I remember her complaining about that to me. Her body had just, it was shutting down. She was a little fuller figured, like when Weigh Down was popular. And then as Remnant went on, you just start seeing stick figure, anorexic by the end. And that's the problem here is my sister who's taken it over, that's their ideal spiritual icon would have been Gwen or Elizabeth to these women.
To this day.
To this day.
Does that bother you?
I'm very uncomfortable with it.
I'm glad you're out. I'm glad you're like, you seem to be in a much better state.
I'll be honest, I mean, my whole entire purpose at this point is to go against this women's movement.
Sure.
That's kind of what I'm doing. Not to be overly threatening.
Lift up Jerusalem and make this place a light to the world. You are the God of all.
I noticed that you never say the word mom and dad. You just prefer not to.
I say dad more, but Gwen, I started calling her Gwen. It's habit. And
yeah, that's all right.
Probably around the time when I found that file.
Before she passed, there was like a tension between you and her for a while. Yeah. But you never confronted her about this stuff. You couldn't.
I did. I confronted her one time when she was storing ARs down in the church basement. And I said, you're going to get some Waco, some sort of crap going on here. And I've got kids. I'm saying they're going to come in with smoke grenades.
Yeah.
And so she called a meeting that night and had to move it out of the church.
Do you think there will be a realistic case where it could be shut down in the next 10 years? Like if all these allegations come out?
I've thought before trying to rally the city of Brentwood. Try to get politicians involved. You get enough people crying out they might do something. But I would love to see the day where the doors are closed for the last time.
Since he left the church, Michael's been gathering evidence, not just about what happened inside Remnant, but what's still happening outside today. Now he has taken me back inside his house to show me everything he's uncovered.
They were keeping files on every single member in the church. They still do. These are issues. This is what's called the guidance system. If somebody had a doubt about Gwen, it would be written. Every member has a webcast history, how much they were watching the services. And if they did not watch it, it was noted, it would be logged. Every single person. Like here's the screenshots I took one time of a text thread Gwen's asking people once they make a home visit. Like she had people going through their pantries, their fridge. They report back what they find at people's houses. If they find Gwen's books and stuff like that, people in the church. Here's an example of so-and-so chose not to come to Day of Trumpets and did not webcast either. Friendly reminder, Gwen is asking for those people in the Monday night class to have their weights reported once a month in the guidance. Exactly. What do you call it? Invasive, intrusive? All of the above. Yes, exactly. They had maps of everybody's house everywhere they were in Brentwood. This was a time period when Gwen, she started changing the scriptures to allow divorce when she wanted to get a divorce.
Oh, so she would basically change laws depending on what she wants to do with her own private life.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And immediately once she did this, all of a sudden you had all these women divorced, like lining up to divorce. You have so many families that have been split apart by this church, but that was a big deal when she did that. Now, this is something interesting. Looks like something I saved whenever they make kind of threatening wording. I'd keep these screenshots. And this was just a sampling of what they really were deep down feeling about me.
All right, so what's going on here? You got a briefcase of things.
I didn't know if you knew this or not, but I've got a stalker. She was a part of Remnant Memphis.
She's currently stalking you?
Yeah. What? She's tried to kill me. She's been arrested 14 times for especially aggravated stalking, so she's never gotten physically close enough to me. They would arrest her like when she pulled into the church or stuff like that. Like she writes these gigantic, huge letters, like 50, 60 page letters to me. She writes them from prison too. She wasn't even supposed to.
What the hell?
Why did I want to kill you, Michael? The Lord says they no longer ask for the Lord's guidance or seek my blessing. Then she says, I'm writing you all today to admit that I brought the knives from home in order to kill you, Michael, because you did not comply with my demand to engage in sexual immorality.
Were you actually scared that she might kill you at one point?
Oh, yeah.
So where is she now?
She's in prison. Remnant had all these satellite churches, and so she's in Memphis, and she starts hearing like this code in Gwen's sermon and all my song lyrics that God is telling her that we're supposed to be united. So she starts coming to Remnant Nashville, and she starts trying to get into all the events, and they start slapping her with orders of protection and trespassing. She didn't care. She didn't care if she gets arrested.
But if she was part of Remnant Church, why would she want to?
By that point, she was kicked out. Well, the first thing a lot of people see when they come in is this painting. And a lot of people kind of get weirded out by it.
Were there as many devils in worms as there are roof tiles? I would on. I don't get it.
This is Luther. He was excommunicated from the Catholic Church. So he's saying if there's many devils and verms as there are roof tiles, I would on. And
so what does this mean to you?
It's symbolic. Because at that, it was called the Imperial Diet of Worms. He refused to recant. And then they issued, from that day forward, all his writings were banned.
It makes sense that Michael admires Luther, a man who challenged the church from the inside, exposed corruption, and sparked a reformation. In a way, Michael's trying to do the same. Now he is taking me to one of the only restaurants that Remnant members were allowed to dine at, a place that shows just how deep the control really went.
We're here with Steve, who's the owner of Sopapia's, which looks amazing. And what do you know about Michael and the Remnant Church?
We've hired
members,
children that, of members that worked, and I've never had any issues with anyone from Remnant.
How about when the news broke in 2021? Like what?
It was a lot, because Gwen would come in quite often, and we'd have conversations, and it was definitely shocking.
What was your thoughts on Gwen?
I always enjoyed talking with her. I went through a divorce when I first opened the restaurant, so we talked about divorce after she had gone through, and so we just took it as face value for the people that we saw that came.
Personally, I think it's strange that people are pressing you to lose weight and to not eat.
I had heard about that and heard different things.
Right.
Like there were certain restaurants that were approved for people to go to.
I didn't even know that. Was yours approved?
Evidently, because we had a lot of people.
Here.
Yes.
If she was
this and J. Alexander's and there's some others.
Need a little second to unwind here after hanging out with Michael. I've done a lot of stories on cults and communities around the U.S. This one is one of the darkest and most interesting, especially because it's still happening. Excited to learn more. This is just getting crazier and crazier.
Now we are heading into the heart of the Remnant community, the mansions, huge gated homes owned by the top members of the church.
Did you ever live in a mansion?
I lived in Ashlawn in high school.
So you grew up pretty wealthy, you had money.
No, we grew up dirt poor in Memphis. Our family was $20,000 in debt by the time I was 8 or 9. They were working multiple jobs.
Sure.
So then when Way Down started, it blew up. I will say one thing about our family. I felt like we were able to appreciate things because we were we were thrilled to get to go to McDonald's or something growing up. That was a big treat where other people would just think that's normal.
Do you know how much money the church was pulling in at its height, at its peak? Millions of dollars a month?
Millions.
And where did that money go?
Salaries for the people that worked at Remnant, a lot of it went towards legal. Remnant is like a well-oiled machine with their legal team because they're always, at any given moment, they're in helping members fight custody battles against spouses that are outside the church.
They're not dumb. They know what they're doing.
I feel like people across the board, they underestimate Remnant. Because it was a little woman, sweet looking woman with blonde hair, and now my sister's this little girl. They can talk sweet, and it seems like a pretty little church sitting out there in the field, and people just don't understand how harmful, brutal these people can be. And she started getting obsessive about painting stuff white. One of the things that bothered my dad and me more than anything, one day she had all of her books painted white in her library, painted over the covers and everything.
That's weird.
These were nice books. She started painting everything white. She wanted everybody to start wearing white. People started painting their houses white. All interior, all exterior was white.
But all the other houses are brick,
in
dark color, and then you have these white ones.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the neighbors think about the Remnants.
Neighborhoods in Nashville dread it if Remnant starts moving into their neighborhood.
Why?
Because they take over. They try to get on all the committees.
Do you ever feel like you want to leave Brentwood and distance yourself from all this mess?
I think I still want to be close to where my kids are.
Are they involved in what you're doing and what you believe in, or?
Well, they're in Remnant.
They are in Remnant.
Mm-hmm.
And they still...
With my ex, yeah.
And they still appreciate you, and even though you're so outspoken.
I'm saying they're sweet. The leadership made them say, that they were going to pull back and not have anything to do with me if I kept going.
Got it.
But I kept going. I'll tell you one of the poems I wrote one time. It was, in the Brent Woods, there dwell many white witches who make men do their bidding with a church of sales pitches. There's Ashlon, by the way, the mansion.
Oh,
Elizabeth.
that's her house? Damn, that is a nice house. Right as we drive by his sister's giant mansion, a guy mowing the lawn starts circling us like we just set off an alarm. Just drive a little slower.
Okay, he's...
Jesus Christ, the guy's like,
wow,
right here.
what are the odds? She just pulled by. That was Donna Fisher.
Wait, where? Oh, pulled up in
the
there?
van that just drove by us, yeah.
Oh, he's definitely watching you. Did you see that?
Okay, so they're on the lookout for us.
Just keep driving.
Looked like a Martin boy, David and Jennifer Martin's son. They're the ones that passed away in the plane crash.
Oh, but is he close with your sister?
Yes, she's super loyal to her.
Let's say worst case scenario for me. I go there right now by myself and I'm filming on my phone and someone comes up to me and says, hey.
I said, get off the property.
Well, because you've been so outspoken against the church, have you developed a new following or a new community of people that support you now?
Yes, after Channel 5, like that was a really big step for me. Yeah. Up until that point, I had not really spoken up publicly. It's hard to call it a church in my mind. It's a cult. It was like a whirlwind of pieces of trash-talking remnant leaders and members. Like right. Elizabeth stayed in her house for 3 years. You can't get any information on anything.
What do you mean she stayed? She didn't leave?
She didn't want to be seen by anybody. She didn't even step foot in the church for 3 years.
But just recently she started.
Just now.
Just now. And why do you think she feels comfortable now doing it?
She just got remarried to a guy who's completely kind of a mystery himself. He's a contractor for NASA and SpaceX, so nobody knows any background on him. His profile picture is like all black. He's from Florida. Like their wedding, there was no family. He's got no kids. You can't find his schooling. There's nothing.
It's weird to think that people idolized your mother for so many years, and when she passed away, now they're idolizing your sister.
Well, I would call it worship. They worshipped Gwen, and now that has been passed down to Elizabeth. They are worshiping her as the female leader of Remnant.
I never thought about this whole thing, this cult being so female-driven, but it makes sense now.
In the Old Testament, there was a queen, Jezebel. It was actually a real woman. The Bible talks about her. She's like maybe the most wicked woman who's ever lived. Her agenda was replacing the worship of God with the worship of Baal and the worship of Asherah. And she also murdered the prophets of God. Mm-hmm. What I believe is anybody who's open to this is women. We're talking about women here who are open to this spirit. They want to be worshipped themselves. Mm-hmm. I believe a form of this Jezebel spirit has been birthed called the Gwen spirit. I've seen people change. It's women. It's always women. Gwen, finally, she had enough of being under men authority. By then, she was ready to start a place where it's 24 hours a day playing Gwen on the radio. Everybody has to have the apps. She gets to be worshipped. She was giving them permission to break authority. That's what it was. It was sneaky. But she was living it out. She embodied it. And honestly, Remnant has taken notes from Scientology.
Really?
They studied Scientology. Yeah.
That stuff's crazy.
They literally, they would visit it. They would study it. In fact, the Church of Scientology in Nashville loved Gwen. They loved Remnant. Every church we went to before Remnant, she caused problems. She would speak out of turn. Every church we went, they left a wake of people that hated her. I know that doesn't sound as crazy to people from other states and stuff, but in the South, that was a big deal for women to be speaking out like that. So Gwen, she has this spirit, so what she's doing, it's manipulation, once again. Her agenda is, it's replacing the worship of God with the worship of a woman. And that's also why I talk about witchcraft, witches. It is mainly manipulation. Sure. It's manipulation of somebody's will. And that's why I'm calling this, it's closer to a form of witchcraft than it is Christianity. My mission in life now, it's to expose them and to snuff out this Gwen spirit.
Have you lost trust with all women because of this? Like subconsciously?
For the most part. Yeah. I believe women have an innate sense of lying.
After almost getting caught outside Elizabeth's home,
I'm even more nervous about showing up to the church later and trying to convince them that I want to join.
We are rolling up to the church here. I'm gonna have to keep my I don't want them to know we're filming.
But before that, Michael and I want to grab lunch in town so I can unpack more about the cult's current activities.
Made it to downtown Franklin. We're gonna get some food and walk around, learn more about this place. So what is this building right next to you?
So this is the Williamson County Courthouse in Franklin.
Have you been there?
Multiple times for stalker situation mainly.
So you've had to like talk to court, not about...
I've had to testify in court, take the stand and that kind of stuff.
If there's a Remnant member that walks by, can you figure out who they are just by how they dress?
They went really hardcore into the white and the khaki.
Right.
Gwen loved this stuff like shabby chic. Now, Elizabeth has been trying to normalize everyone. That's been kind of their slogan, is to normalize. Super nice.
The devil has arrived.
The black table.
Can you tell me about this like Smith's murder case? I don't really understand it, but I read about it online.
A boy died, little Joseph Smith died. He was murdered by his parents, Joseph and Sonia Smith. They were members of Remnant in Georgia. They were getting some bad counsel from Remnant, telling them to do stuff like lock him in his room for the weekend because he was out of control. And a lot of the police and detectives and everybody that saw the case in Atlanta, they said it was like some of the worst case of child abuse they'd ever seen.
So the kid died?
Yeah, he died, murdered.
And what happened? How did it come back to the church?
Because they were members of Remnant and they were getting counseled by the Remnant how to discipline their child. And they were suggested he'd start using glue sticks to beat him, like long glue sticks, like a whip.
And do you think in today's day and age, if that stuff's still happening? Or is it more like secretive?
I think they're doing all they can do to try to steer away from that kind of stuff right now. I don't think they're doing that right now. They're trying to avoid persecution. They know the stuff being talked about at the church. People are, eating disorders and starving themselves. So now she's put out the directive to everybody to normalize. I think that could cause issues for people that are trying to claim Christianity, because Christians in general were trying to stand out from the world, and Remnant's trying to look as much as they possibly can like the world.
Interesting.
Yet I don't think they're doing a good job because they're still weird.
When the plane crash happened, did you get a call, a text? What happened?
So I was driving down the interstate and I got a call from Elizabeth. She got notified before me because they had already enacted a plan that she's going to be leader. So she's getting full-time recon and calls from security and people. They already had people driving up there to get on the ground at Percy Priest Lake. So she called me to let me know. I just couldn't believe it had happened. I wasn't sad about it.
I saw that. You said you never cried?
To this day.
It doesn't make you sad?
No. It's like my enemies had just died. But I don't gloat over my enemies. I take that passage to heart. I don't do that.
So you found out your mother died, and who else was on that plane?
My stepdad, Joe Lara. Brandon Hanna was co-pilot. That was my best friend since 10th grade.
So were you sad about him passing?
That was a tough one. He started getting into more and more stuff, helping them do illegal activities, and I found out he broke into my house when I was singing worship music. He broke into my office, which was locked, and he pried open the back of my 17-inch MacBook Pro laptop, and he cut his finger on it. He never could install whatever he was trying to install, so it was like iron. Yeah, it's like galvanized steel. So he was prying it open. I come back, my computer, it won't sit flat on the desk.
Wow.
I turned over, the steel has been pried open. He was good at picking locks. They all were. They were trained to do, they have safe crackers on the security team. So he got more and more into just loyalty to Gwen, and he was working against me, and he became my enemy.
He's an enemy.
Yeah, and that's why people think I'm like some heartless, asshole, but I'm not.
No, I get it.
So all of a sudden to have those people die, it was some relief to me. I mean, it was.
You must have felt like a newborn Michael has arrived. Like you can say what you want, like you can do what you want.
I remember talking to my dad on the phone as soon as I got home, and the first thing we talked about was it a suicide, which posed problems because then it would be a murder-suicide. He was miserable.
Who flew the plane?
Joe.
He could have crashed it, nobody would know.
They were on their way to a Trump rally. Unbeknownst to me, she started giving money to Trump organizations, and she was going to guess what? Women for Trump rally. They were going to have a way down function down there in Florida, in Palm Springs.
Wow.
And they were on their way to that when the plane crashed.
Really?
Yeah, pretty wild.
Sure you're not on a weight loss program?
Does it look like I am? I'll be honest, I started gaining weight when they got a divorce. She told me the same day she told my dad she was filing for divorce. And I took that pretty hard. And that was a big change for Remnant. And I kind of started letting myself go, I guess you could say. This is Main Street, Franklin.
After all, I do run a travel channel, so it's kind of cool that people can see what it looks like here. It seems like this place has been around since like the 1800s.
Yes, we tried to do a concert here at Franklin Theater when I was worship leader. We were never allowed to do anything outside of the church, so that was a huge deal to me. We toured here and we're setting it all up, and we were going to fill it with all Remnant people. It's like 328 capacity. So when we get back to the wait on office, I was pumped. That was like a big deal for me. And they called up and they were like, we looked up Gwen on the internet and it's a cult. Sorry, we can't do it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They canceled it.
Oh, they straight up called it a cult?
Never got to do it.
Your mother was very wealthy. She passed. The money is somewhere. How has the financial thing worked with you?
Yes.
Good.
Me and my sister got inheritance.
That's great. And that must have been very helpful for you to live your life.
I'm grateful for that.
I'm glad that happened. I didn't know if you got that or if in the will or something that your mom blocked you or something like that.
And one of the things, I think the misconceptions a lot of people have said is that, they make such a big deal about how Gwen didn't leave any money for the church.
Right.
Here's the thing though. Our family owned that 40 acres that's sitting in the middle of Brentwood. That's 40 acres of land of the church.
That's so valuable.
You think about that. And then also the church building itself is worth like $4 million.
Right.
That would have been ours.
Yeah.
Upon her death. So she donated that to the church.
Oh, wow.
So every acre is like over $1 million.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
like,
how many millions of dollars?
Tens and tens of millions of dollars.
$40 million?
Yeah.
No ticket.
Good.
There was a time, when at the day mansion they had a bunch of Remnant kids over, and they were out of town, and they let them all just come over for a big sex party kind of thing going on at their mansion.
Like younger than 18?
Some of them, yeah. There were like mattresses on the floor and everything. No, they were like just all sleeping with each other and stuff like that.
The kids?
Yeah, like young adults and stuff.
That's disturbing.
I think another big problem has been these Remnant adults have been buying alcohol for the youth when they come over for parties. Remnant's had a lot of stuff they covered over. They've had kids die from drunk driving and killing other people in drunk driving accidents. And
we're really hyping it up, like my visit to the church, because after knowing all these things, I'm going to have to put on this fake smile, like, hello, how are you?
What Remnant does, they're experts at rewriting history. People don't understand how quickly they rewrite history. They erase websites. If somebody leaves, you disappear. You're off the directory. You disappear from videos.
They change laws.
People in Remnant right now, they would love to say that they're the next generation of Remnant leaders who had nothing to do with all the past abuses that happened under Gwen. But what the actuality is that they are all complicit with it, and they're completely lying their faces off. The master plan of what Elizabeth's doing and the top leaders, they're letting the current generation die off. They don't care about them. She's taken a page from Gwen, and her regime basically now it's going to be the youth because they're ultra loyal. They're like, like the Hitler youth, that kind of stuff.
Right.
The brown shirts. They don't know any better. They don't know the outside world. They've been raised in the Remnant. There's tons of kids in the Remnant. It's the youth. Mm-hmm. That's their plan. And she has been working them for the last decade. That's been her speciality, the youth.
How do you think it all evolves in the next 5 to 10 years?
I've had a lot of people, posture that they think, we've got the Remnant on the ropes. It's going to close the doors. What I'm seeing is that they're still strong.
It's surreal to hear Michael's vision of Remnant's future, but
but now it's time to attempt to visit inside the church to see how I'll be received. Due to safety and legal reasons, Michael is unable to join, and I'm too scared to go alone, so I connected with a local guy named Anthony who's up for the adventure. We are meeting up at a local Target to find some clothes so I can blend in. That's all I need. I just bought this in Target, which ironically matches him, and we are gonna roll up together. I don't know if I can film on this camera. I probably gotta use my phone. Actually, I might be able to put my phone in a pocket, and we're just gonna question them and just say, like, hey, we're interested in joining. We wanna learn about the community. We're not gonna say anything else.
No, that's it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It sounds like you've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yeah, a very long time. Thank you for coming, Drew.
This guy's a legend.
No one knew anything about it till the plane crashed in Smyrna, where I live in Smyrna.
It was in Smyrna?
Yeah, it was in Smyrna
so
on Percy Creek Lake. Well, first it was like the actor who played Tarzan was in the plane. You know?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's her husband.
Oh, shit, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
the original Tarzan from the movies. Then it came back, you know, like it was, you know, preacher at this church, and then it all just broke loose.
Did you hear about her like weight loss program?
Yeah, the weight loss program. She would say, you know, when you're hungry, pray. Barely eat. Like her hair weighed more than her body did. She denounced the Trinity. She denounced the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So therefore, the actual, you know, church wanted to cut ties with her. So that's when she went to do her own thing. And like,
what are your thoughts on like the not eating? Like, it's not healthy to do that.
It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to do that? That's like, you know, putting your body through hell. Why would you put your body through so much hurt when the Bible says, you know, keep your body as a temple?
Right.
Why would you starve it?
We're almost at the church, and part of me feels like I should have packed a bulletproof vest or something. Will they really believe we're just regular locals wanting to join the cult? I'm feeling pretty anxious. We are rolling up to the church here. I'm gonna have to keep my I don't want them to know we're filming, so let's just roll in and then...
The Remnant Fellowship.
Yeah. All we're here for is just to kind of learn and go to the left side where those two white vans are. Park over there. That's what Michael said. I'm gonna turn off the camera now and we're gonna...
They got security. He's gonna stop us.
Here, move the mic.
All right. Hey, sir.
Fellas, what can I do for you?
I'm Brian Mullis. I had emailed the church this morning, and I was just curious, you know, what it was about and everything. We're looking to get into church.
So
you
what's
know,
the microphone for?
What, the microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just for
that a
detailed
guarantee?
perspective. No.
So you can visit the church website, remnantfellowship.org.
Yeah.
You can find everything out you want to about there. And any further questions, you can read it.
We just want to roll up and see what's going on.
The thing is a friend, one guy to another, that's all. Right? You sent an email this morning, you didn't wait for a reply, and you show up.
Well, yeah, but because it's used to the churches I'm used, you know, are like welcome.
Being here, being cautious and caring about my family and friends doesn't make us unwelcoming. Because there's a different, there's the questioning, well, that's not right, I don't see why you believe it. Okay, but it is what we believe and we're allowed to.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's just like, you know,
as opposed to
Presbyterian tongues and everything.
As opposed to, hey, I want to understand because what you're saying is intriguing to me. So there's two different dynamics,
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're on two different
But
pages.
I just gonna ask you this, like, I believe, I've been baptized, am I gonna see you in heaven?
Heaven is not mine to determine who does or does not get in. What we're kind of running after is we've got a pretty good outline of how to get in. And so we're just looking at pursuing that.
No. I'm Anthony Mose.
Anthony Alonzo.
It's nice to meet you.
Hey, I'm Drew. Sorry to interrupt.
Turn around right
Yeah, we're gonna turn around. That shit was fucking crazy, bro. We managed to escape before things escalate, but it's clear that this place has eyes everywhere. The Remnant Fellowship Church is alive and well, and it's protecting itself tightly. Next, I'm heading to India to meet a man who practices an ancient religion that involves cannibalism. Varanasi is known as the city of death. Every day, more than 300 bodies arrive here to be cremated, and their ashes are thrown into the Ganges River. But to find a real-life cannibal, we have to wind through the busy streets, ironically bursting with life.
Om Namah Shivaya.
I'm with my local friend Shubham, and we have one mission right now, to find an Aghoris who is living somewhere in this spiritual city. It's really beautiful from up here to see the whole city. Just get a feel and a taste for
Varanasi. I can't even hear myself think because there's so many horns.
I don't know, man. I also hate this.
This street is maximum chaos, maximum crowded. And you got to be careful you don't get run over by a motorbike.
So in Varanasi, you can find temple at any place. Like every place is a temple. Like you see behind this one, it's like it's a place where culture is the most important thing. It's a temple just in the wall.
I feel like if you don't know the city well, you're gonna easily get lost.
In this area and in these small lanes, you can easily get lost.
You feel like these buildings are caving in on you. They're like slanted. And crazy electrical wires that you only see in India. There's literally a cow blocking the road. How can we get by? These guys are carrying a dead body right next to me on the streets. Wow. What's really cool about Varanasi is that all the roads kind of lead to the riverbank here because it's so holy, this water. All the activities take place on these things called ghats, which are basically riverbanks. And these ghats are the very places where the cannibals hang out. We're hopeful we're gonna find one. I'm having a little bit of stomach problems from the curry I ate last night in the hotel. And it's taking a little bit of energy away from me. But deli belly, man, you just gotta deal with it. Bathing in the river is considered really holy for any Hindu, and that's why you can see a lot of them behind me that just jump in the river. All right, we're gonna ask this guy if he knows where the Aghoris are. Hello. Do you know where we can find any Aghoris around here?
What? Harishan Ghat. He told us the name of a ghat, which is like a few minutes walk from here, like maybe 5 minutes walk.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. It is incredibly peaceful out here. A lot of people just chilling on the banks of the river. You can feel the power of Varanasi.
Mark Twain has mentioned that Varanasi is a city which is older than history.
Do you know where I can find an Aghori man here?
Mashan Ghat pe.
Thank you.
He mentioned the exact same name that the last person mentioned it to us. We're pretty close now.
Okay, we spot the Aghori. He's sitting in a circle right now. He's holding a skull and a bone. What is going on? I got the goosebumps right now. Boom! This is so insane. So he's covered in ashes?
Yeah, he just put on the ashes of the people who are burned there on his body.
Whose skull are you holding?
James.
Just a random man, just a random guy.
Just a random guy. He might have picked it from here only somewhere.
Meet Baba, an Aghori who spends his days scouring for bodies on the Ganges River. He practices rituals involving skulls and bones, meditates next to burning limbs, and eats people to consume their power. I gotta admit, I'm a little intimidated by this guy. He's ringing the bell uncontrollably. I don't know why. If this isn't stepping out of my comfort zone, I don't know what is.
Is that human ashes you put on my face?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Good.
How do you feel with human ashes on your face?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. I mean, it's holy because it means like when a body is burned, it gives up like all the emotions, all the ego or any goods and bads.
What an experience, what a moment. Dhanyavad.
Namaste.
The Aghori wants to show us the beautiful river here, which is super holy. So we're heading on a boat right now, and we're gonna spend some time with him and learn his story. So as I understand, this lady with him is his follower.
Yeah.
How did you first meet Baba?
So they met at a very holy place, which is like a Kamakhya Mandir, where they pray the vagina of the woman. So she met him there, and then she came here with him.
How many years have you known him?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
What do you think about him?
She's saying he's really good, and she learns a lot from him.
When you get on the boat, you can really feel how old and historic this city is. It feels like 2,000 years ago. Really, really is a special place. Dhanyavad. The holy water of the Ganges River.
As we leave the shore, I'm feeling a little nervous to be isolated on a boat with a cannibal. What if something goes wrong?
What the hell is he doing, man? I've never held a human skull before. This is insane. I don't know what to think or what to feel. They just cover their faces in ashes, and now my face is covered in ashes.
I mean, it's holy, so it's fine.
I'm really curious to know about cannibalism. Like, do you eat humans?
Yeah, they do eat like human flesh or drink blood or anything which is there.
So just to understand correctly, you eat human flesh.
Yeah, he does it. He said yeah.
I'm getting a little worried on this boat right now. What part of the human tastes the best?
Dil.
He's saying heart.
This is insane. Why do you love surrounding yourself with skulls and bones and blood and ashes? How does it make you feel when you're physically around dead people?
काली और भैरव का साधना शमशान में भी होता है.
Just because God or goddess they pray are considered to be in this place only. Here they obtain the energy to make the world a better place or to attain their God.
What's the significance of the blood of the human?
तो जब किसी का पूजा अगर हम लोग करते हैं उसके ऊपर भूत प्रेत का छाया रहता है.
It's a special kind of praying that he does to impress the goddess Kali, and he will take that bad energy or the evil energy from my life away by impressing the goddess.
What do you think about Aghoris eating humans?
She's saying, yeah, she has seen him eating human flesh.
Would you ever eat human flesh?
अभी नहीं खाएंगे, बाद में खाएंगे.
It's a span of 12 years, then she will become kind of a
अभी इसका जो
Aghori,
है
and then
शमशान साधना चल रहा है.
She would do it after 12 years.
Yeah.
Baba, what do you think about death?
तो क्या मृत्यु सत्य है?
He's saying death is the truth.
Many people in the world right now would think that eating humans is crazy and they would not approve of that. They would say it's a really bad practice.
ओ माता. हम लोग केवल पूजा के समय खाते हैं. किस लिए खाते हैं?
Just to impress the goddess for the praying and offering to the goddess, they do it. Otherwise, they just simply eat the normal food as we do, like sometimes chicken, fish.
Where do you eat the people? Like, so they get cremated, and do you like wait there and then grab a leg? Do you chop off an arm and then bring it back to your fireplace? Like, how do you eat the human?
जैसे कभी मुर्गा लेके आए, मुर्गा.
He's saying they get it on the ghats only, like where the bodies are being burnt and all.
If you think about everywhere else in the world, it's not even a thought that people would eat human. But here, it's like a spiritual thing, right?
Yeah, it's a spiritual thing. So every question that we are asking, there is a mention of this goddess and the god. He just had some blood and he put it on the sword.
Is he doing a blessing or he's just?
Yeah, he's just praying. He's just praying.
Baba. Baba, when you die, do you want someone to eat you, or do you want to be cremated here?
मसान घाट पे जलेगा या कहाँ जलेगा वो तो फिर.
He's not caring about it. You know, he's just living life. It is written what will happen after his death.
He's opening up like a lemon with a blood knife. Looks like he's about ready to cut off my head with that thing.
It's called Bali, which means that you kill something to impress the god. He just cut this lemon.
Please don't cut off my head to impress the god. What did he just say?
Your flesh is really nice. That chicken, that leg piece is good.
White flesh. I kind of moved aside on the boat closer to the driver because the Baba's kind of crazy with the sword.
He is the person who started the whole community of Aghoris. So he's some Kinaram Baba or something.
अरे का कर बापाई पाई सजनवा बटो.
He sang a song which means like everything you are going to leave it in here on the earth. You are going to be burned down to the ashes. What you're going to take back once you die is your good works.
Baba, if you could say one message to everyone in the world, what would you tell them?
सत्य ऐसा कोई तप नहीं, झूठ ऐसा कोई पाप नहीं.
Just pray the truth, you know. Everything is just Lord Shiva.
He's built out this whole temple thing right in front of him with incense and fire, and everything is carefully placed in a circle. And he just said that he's gonna start smoking weed.
Hara Hara Shambho.
He's gonna smoke through a special pipe. It's called chilam.
In American English, we also say the word chilam. I didn't know it was a Hindi word.
That chilam is also a gift of one of his followers.
He just drank the water from the river, which, as I understand, is very dirty.
Yeah, it's very windy out here, so he's taking cover and then he'll blow it, I think.
Baba. Why do you smoke so much weed?
ध्यान के लिए. 24 घंटा ध्यान पूजा करते हैं ना.
He's saying to meditate, he smokes weed.
Okay. I really didn't want to indulge, but when you're stranded on a boat with a cannibal in the middle of India, you don't really have a choice. Well, I never thought I would do this, smoke weed with a cannibal, but it's happening right now. Yeah. Not really sure what he's doing now. He just jumped off our boat to another boat, and then he jumped in the water, and now he's walking to shore. Bro, what is he doing right now?
So I think he's just looking for some maybe body parts or maybe something.
He's now giving me a skull in my hand, which I've never held in my life. And Jesus Christ. I don't know what to think or what to feel. But yeah, this is way crazier than I was expecting.
Oh, mama.
I'm not sure why he is pouring liquor everywhere, but I guess that's part of his ritual. And then he started drinking out of this human skull as if it were a shot glass. I just got booze all over my lens.
Oh,
He's just made a fire on top of the human skull and doing some chanting. I'm just amazed by everything that this guy's doing. I am fascinated by cannibals. From West Papua to Varanasi, I just can't wrap my head around how these traditions still exist in the most ancient and religious parts of our world. We've just arrived back to the shore here, and Baba says he wants to show me his temple, so he's tying up his skull right now, and we're gonna walk. He wants to drink some chai together.
Chai.
Thank you.
Prasad.
Dhanyabad. It's almost an out-of-body experience to be here right now. Side note, I'm having like the worst diarrhea of my life. I don't know if I should drink this right now. Seriously, my stomach is rumbling. Jelly belly. Alright, he's gonna go pee. We're gonna cut the cameras. Look how he pees. They squat. Your foot is covered in pee. It's okay?
No problem. You Ganga Jal.
He's saying it's holy water from Ganges because he drinks and eats from the Ganges only.
So his pee is holy too.
Yeah.
Baba, would you ever drink your urine?
He's saying, yeah, we do sometimes if we are thirsty. It's all holy water.
Just when I thought this video was crazy enough, I find out that he drinks his own pee. Right in front of us is a cremation ceremony.
Yeah, it's happening there.
And Baba's walking through it. It's insane, bro. It's so hot. Flame in the face.
So these are the woods that people buy to burn the bodies.
A lot of wood.
So there's this body. He's doing the last rituals and saying a last goodbye. It's kind of a holy process. So normal deaths are burned. So once it's burned, ashes are thrown in the river.
So basically the river is full of human ashes.
Yeah.
The guy working here told us that over 250 bodies every day are cremated. All that smoke and the ashes behind me is a body being burned here on the river. It's really intense. It hits you in the face.
For me, it's normal because, yeah, if anyone dies in my family or in my village only, we bring them to here burn.
Do you want to be burned here?
Yeah, of course. My grandparents, my grandmother, they have been burnt here.
How long does it take for the body to be burned?
4 hours, 3 hours, depends on the body.
There's another body right there in the orange that's waiting to be cremated. Just body after body after body after body.
One of the guys' mother had died, he had burnt her. So first he'll offer the food to him because it's holy. Because he can bring peace to the dead ones.
He's explaining to me that he's a guru for these people around him right now. Really cool to experience.
The person in the photograph, she's dead. So the people who become Aghori keeps on looking for families whose ancestors were Aghori or who believes in the Aghoriness or the Aghori community. So that's why how he find him.
Someone has recently died and they asked Baba if they can pray for her and they're feeding him in the back corners here. It's really interesting to see this unfold. We are now rolling up to the temple here. Wow.
So she is the goddess to whom he pray and offer everything. He can bring peace to the body.
Mahakali Kali ke Sarveshri Karnanand Kare Devi Narayani Namaste Namo Namah. Kali Kali Mahakali Kali ke Om Kali Mahakali Kali ke Sarveshri Karnanand Kare Devi Narayani Karnanand Kare Devi Narayani Om Kali Kankal Kali 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 Mahakali.
As I'm watching Baba pray, I start seeing black spots. I haven't slept a wink, my food poisoning is really starting to wear me down, and I have this infected cut on my leg that has turned black with pus. I'm not one to always ask for help, but in this moment, I tell Shubham that I need to see a doctor. Quick. Trying to find a hospital in India.
Injection?
I'm not getting any needles.
You're not getting injection?
Not here. It's from a cut from like a tree, like a thorn, and then it just got infected and it turned black. Do you speak English? It's crazy. So they sent us to another doctor, but he closes in 8 minutes, so we gotta go fast. So we missed a deadline. The doctor is gone. but they told us where he lives. And so we're gonna go knock on his door. I'm not really comfortable doing that, but Shubham says it's okay. Dr. KK Pandey. We'll see if he's home. Maybe I just jinxed it. Hi. Good afternoon, doctor. This is cool. We're inside of his house. He has this room where he sees patients. Like there's the bed right there where the patients are supposed to sit. Seeing a doctor in a foreign country is every traveler's worst nightmare. But this one was very nice to host me in his house, and at least I got some medication to cure my cut and stomach. Got it all. That is to say, Varanasi has been a wild experience, and it's not one for the faint-hearted. The Aghoris embody a radical approach to spirituality, and while my friend Baba might invite some controversy, the city is an inspiring place to visit on your quest for enlightenment. Leaving behind the ancient rituals of India, I'm now heading back to America to see if the world of Satanism is actually what everyone thinks it is.
The world is ours.
I'm about to head straight into the belly of the beast, the Satanic Temple, and to get access, I'm meeting up with Sandora, who identifies as a real satanic witch. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How
Good to meet you.
You too.
Do you mind showing me your house?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
So right now we're in the living room. Try to do like this kind of monochromy burgundy and black situation.
Looks wonderful. So Anton LaVey, to my knowledge, he is like the founder of the Satanic Church.
Yeah, he was founder of the Church of Satan. It was founded in 1966 in San Francisco, California. The Satanic Bible was published in 1969, and that is basically the book that everyone reads as becoming a baby Satanist, and it lays the ground lines for Satanism. Basically what Satanism is self-empowerment. Yes, it's called Satan because Satan represents carnal desire. He represents the rebel. We embrace sexuality. We embrace sensuality. We also embrace humanism. We have empathy. We're very sensitive people, but also if you smite me on one cheek, I'll smash you on the other. I think that the word Satan scares people. When we say hail Satan, we say hail thyself.
Hail Satan! Hail Satan!
Xandor, that's Anton's middle name.
Is that where you get your name from?
When I started doing fetish modeling, I had to come up with a pseudonym, so I came up with Xandora.
What's your relationship to him?
I was married to his grandson, Stanton, but I was a Satanist and Xandora before I met his grandson.
Interesting.
This is my bedroom. Welcome. I bid you welcome. So this is my broom. This is really special to me. My best friend Christine, hi Christine, she makes these with her witch co-op. It's symbolic to me. It's like from nature, it's made from a witch for a witch. I think that's special. Too delicate to fly. And then out the window, my front yard is a graveyard. The little old lady that is my landlord was like, you know, I do have to be honest. You know, there's a graveyard up front in the front yard and it's been turning some people off. And I was like on the phone going, yes. I've always loved cemeteries. Everywhere I go, I will always visit a cemetery. I don't know, it's just kind of relaxing. I like to look at people's last names, look at the stories on their tombstones, kind of celebrate who they were even though I didn't know them. I've tried to look some of these people up, but I haven't had any luck. I do research people on graveyards and tombstones all the time.
You told me you haven't cursed someone in a long time, and like the thought of you cursing someone was really interesting to me. How do you curse people? And I would not want to be the one that is being cursed.
Sometimes curses can be in the form of rituals, but sometimes it could be a form of just manifesting. I like to call it manifesting. But I also do compassion rituals. I do those most of the time.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
A lot of people are familiar with Christianity, right? Sure. If you're a Christian and you pray for someone, and you're putting that energy towards them and they get better, you're like, oh, yay, Jesus. Same kind of thing, I'm doing my compassion ritual. What is my intent? What kind of energy do I want to bring to that person? What kind of wealth do I want to bring to them? And I put that out into the atmosphere. I put that in my energy towards them.
It's been very interesting to learn about Sandora and her beliefs, but now she's going to take me to downtown Beverly to teach me more about the history of witchcraft in Massachusetts. Has anybody ever asked you to put them in touch with the devil?
All the time online. I can't do that, that's not the brand of Satanism that I am peddling,
There's a church right here, there's a church right there, and there's a church right there. We are in a land of churches.
We are.
All these churches around us, they believe that the devil is sin and bad.
I've had friends that didn't realize that I was a Satanist, because it's not something I just say, hey, I'm Sandora, I'm a Satanist, And they have found out eventually and just not been my friend.
Right.
And it's well, I'm a good person. Why wouldn't you be my friend just because of what I believe in?
Right.
You believed in Christianity and I was fine with it, but that's life. Maybe they're not my friend anyway. Oh, I love this. And I love how they have the stories.
Here lies the body of Reverend and Joel Hale.
This is John Hill. This is the guy that was with the witch trial guy. We just randomly.
No way.
Yes. That is crazy that we just, I haven't seen this yet and I've been wanting to come here. Whoa!
We just randomly pulled up to a random graveyard and we found. Whoa.
Yeah, his wife was accused of witchcraft. He persecuted the witches and he was the one that retracted his statement saying, this was hysteria, we shouldn't have believed these kids, this is wrong, but only when this happened to him.
That's bizarre.
Isn't that a crazy story?
That's the first grave we went to. I was
look at this!
There's 100 gravestones here. Wow. Back in 1692, in colonial Massachusetts, hundreds of women were accused of being witches. Neighbors turned on each other, fear spread like wildfire, and by the end, 20 people were hanged, crushed, or left to die in prison. It remains one of the most infamous moral panics in American history. To learn more, we're meeting up with one of Sandora's friends, a Satanist named Adam.
Tabitha, the woman that was brought here by the owner of this house, and the two kids had accused her of being a witch. This is where it all started.
You're a satanic witch. What are the other kinds of witches?
There are thousands of different types of witches.
Right.
There are white witches, gray magic, black magic, right? Those are your three kind of basis of magic.
And anyone can claim themselves as a satanic witch. How do you?
I think anybody can say that they're a witch, right? I've put in the work to be a witch, first of all. I feel like I was born a witch. I will die a witch. At 13, I started reading about occultism and things like that and started doing little rituals and building that. And throughout my lifetime, I use practical magic on a daily basis. I use manifestation for everything in my life.
How do you feel in here?
I feel really great. It feels really powerful hearing what Sandora has just said, because she's accurate right on the point about witchcraft and Satanism, is that it's really what works for you and how it works to help other people in the process. Satanism isn't about murdering things, hurting people. It's about...
I'm gonna cut you off. It's a misconception that people think it's all about death and drinking blood and killing people.
It is.
That's what people think.
That's the movies.
And that's what Hollywood does. And you must struggle if you go somewhere random and you're alone and you're trying to explain this to someone.
It is.
They will almost always you're joking. Or this.
Legacy media likes to play this part where it's just a theatrical thing where, there's devil worshippers, let's go follow that and let's hype it up so it looks like they're terrible people that are going to do this, but they're really behind something that is so positive and has nothing to do with...
What is the core belief? Is it almost like anti-society belief? Is it anti-religion? What?
Satanism is a para-religion, which means it's an alternative to religion. There's a lifestyle Satanist, right, that believes in the core basis of Satanism. A lot of people call it a religion because the Church of Satan, the
Right.
Satanic Temple. So it's been there for me every day of my
Right.
life. So to me, I would
Are
consider
there like prayers
it
like
that
in
way.
Judaism we light the candles for Shabbat? Is there something like that in Satanism?
Oh, we have rituals for sure. We have 3 major types of rituals in LaVeyan Satanism: lust, compassion, and destruction. You'll see these like very theatrical themes,
Yeah.
but the reason that they're theatrical is because for a curse or a compassion ritual to work, everybody has to be on the same energy level. And adding that part of theatricalness to it makes the energy of that ritual higher. It makes it stronger. Yes, you can do a ritual without lighting a candle, and that's more of a manifestation, right?
Before coming to Massachusetts, I had no idea what Satanism was about. But with Sandora as my guide, I now understand that most Satanists are atheists, which means they don't believe in anything supernatural. They're more like artists or activists than they are devil worshippers. I can't wait to meet real believers at the Satanic Temple. But first, we can't leave without visiting the famous graveyard.
So this, where we're taking you right now, is the most haunted cemetery in Salem.
Really?
Yes, this is where Mr. Giles was a victim of the Salem witchcraft hysteria, was crushed to death.
So when you say haunted, like, do you think it's haunted? Like, do you
this-
feel something different in here?
This is what people say because back then, you know, they crushed him to death. 15% of the people that are buried here were crushed to death.
So, you know, a lot of people, myself included, are very scared of death and we don't like to think about it. What does death mean to you?
In Satanism, the reason we celebrate ourselves is because this is the only life you got. When you die, you're dead. There's no heaven, glory bright, and no hell where sinners roast, right? Basically, make the best of your life. If you're gonna be an asshole, apologize. Be a hedonist with responsibility.
What does hedonist mean?
If you want to have sexual freedom, if you want to party on the weekends, you want to be a weekend warrior, you go do that. But get to your actual life too, right?
You're personally not scared of death. You embrace death.
I've had a lot of my friends die. My ex-husband's dead. So, you know, it took me a while to process all these deaths because they happened all so suddenly.
Right.
And that's it for me, you know? Like, I'll never see those people again. To me, that is the last that I will ever hear from those people.
Right.
And that's, I think, what makes me the saddest.
Yeah, that is sad.
Because life is for the living. Depends on what you believe in, where you're gonna go, but I think that we go in the ground or we get spread into the air or into the sea.
So Satanists in general don't believe in heaven or hell?
Absolutely not. We don't believe in Satan. Satan is a metaphor.
So why is it called Satanism? It's confusing.
It really is, right? It's
Yeah.
a double-edged sword. Satan represents personal freedom.
That's what you believe in?
Yes. People say, oh, it's a religion or it's a philosophy. You could say it's a little bit of both. But what Satanism gives you is that freedom to be yourself. Like, yes, there's some guidelines to Satanism, but you can be you.
I don't believe in the actual devil at all. I've been actually close to death many times where I've had 30 intubated surgeries, several scars.
30? Wow.
Yeah, my whole leg is completely just
Really?
messed up. Yeah, I mean.
Damn, sorry to hear that.
It's just, I mean, I had my entire leg taken out. I was hit by a car when I was 20 years old. And I mean, I had 4 rods put in because one of them snapped. And
I'm sorry to hear
And
all
he's
that.
strong. He's stronger than
could've
anyone I've ever
gone
met.
to Christianity at that time, but I decided to stay with, with Satanism.
Wow, I
And
mean, I would
really
have never known. You're walking fine, you're...
Yeah, people coming over trying to preach to me in the hospital, tell me that, God really was on your side. That's why you survived this accident. of being
And you're
hit by a
thinking
car.
like, no?
I'm like, I really want to get the out of here.
Yeah, science saved you.
Yeah.
Science saved you.
Painkillers.
Do you say to them, like, you just keep it in your head, like, about God? You're just like,
I listen to them, and I listen to why they believe in God and why it helps them guide themselves through personal problems.
The devil, Satan, like, you go to hell. You guys don't believe in that. So what's this?
No.
What's going on here?
I think hell is on earth. Like, hell is what you make of it, right? Like, if you're having a shitty time, I consider that to be hell.
Yeah.
If you're here and you're having a great time, that's your heaven, right?
We're in downtown Salem, and it's really cool. I really feel like I'm in Boston because of the brick buildings, and every sign I'm seeing is literally witch. Magic. Haunted. When she told you she's a satanic witch, what, like you said, I love that.
There's a huge misconception about Satanists and the Satanic Temple and what they have to offer. And I think Satanists and people that care about the Satanic Temple and support it just care about supporting other people. Honestly, my wife and I, we moved here like 2 years ago and immediately noticed a huge community shift here. There's a huge sense of community, a big sense of care for one another. Everyone talks to each other. Everyone's really welcoming. And that was one of the very first, I mean, you noticed that at the grocery store here.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I want you to meet my friend.
Hi, I'm Sandora, Satanic Witch.
Oh, purr! We love that!
Awesome.
Why do you love that?
I was born here, and I love everything with witches and stuff.
Really?
Yes, it's so cool.
That's so cute. How about y'all? How y'all feel about witchcraft?
I feel like it's cool. Like, yeah, all the that's your history. vibe. Right, Like, it's really cool.
I
mean, I believe like strongly with witchcraft and like the crystals and like the tarot cards and all that. I grew up like that with my mom and stuff.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, you have a natural witch vibe to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Is your family supportive of you and your beliefs?
They have never said shit to me about my beliefs. They're really cool with it. I don't have a very good relationship with my mom, but when I did, she was very supportive. And I talk to my dad sometimes. I'll tell him about it, but he might not see it. He has gotten the brunt of being my father and me being an erotica model. One time I was in Playboy.
You were?
Now my dad doesn't order Playboys ever again.
Does he sell you?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy performing on stage?
I love performing. That's my ritual. Like, that is the ultimate ritual.
That's what gets
to
you
me.
going.
But as soon as I step on the stage and I see the lights come on and the curtain
I love that.
spread, I go to a different place.
What do you think about blood sucking?
I don't suck people's blood. That sounds really dangerous.
That
But
would-
if you're into it, hey, and the other person is consenting, I don't have a problem with it. As long as there's consent, you can do whatever the hell you want. If you agree to something, that's consensual.
Agree.
That's
I agree to that.
Consensual is sexy. Consent is sexy.
Consent is very sexy.
Yeah.
Amen. Behind me is the Satanic Temple. And what's kind of crazy is it's located inside of a neighborhood. There's literally houses like everywhere around us. What is it like to live next to the Satanic Temple?
They're good neighbors. They don't bring any issues to our area. It's the fanatics that come and are disruptive, but they've been fantastic neighbors. They're not Satanists.
They're not
That's the thing.
Tell me more. I'm interested. What do you mean?
They're not Satanists.
Why?
They
not.
believe in equality for everyone.
They do.
Yeah,
everyone equal ground for everyone.
So who's a Satanist?
No one. The bottom line is the Satanic Temple is named as such to be shocking, to get the known, to make people react. They're all about rights for all. And, whenever some state wants to put the 10 Commandments in school, the Satanic Temple is right there going, wait a minute, no, we're all the same. That means you have to put a Baphomet.
You're right.
Statue.
So you think it's all kind of for show?
I think it is. The name, not the movement. I think they're very sincere about having equal freedoms and religions throughout the country. But yeah, the name, it's shock value. Some of the people who want to look at it as something different in other parts of the country, it's unfortunate.
It's something easy to latch onto.
It is. It's an easy thing to
As
hate.
an outsider, like it's interesting.
Yeah.
Why do we watch scary movies? Why do we watch serial killers?
Exactly.
It's refreshing to meet the normal residents of Salem and see what they think of Satanism. But now's the moment I've been waiting for. We are about to step inside the actual Satanic Temple. It's strictly forbidden to take photos or videos here, so we're lucky that Sandora got us permission.
Here we are with modern Satanism with the Satanic Temple. Want to come on in?
Let's go inside.
Let's go. They have seasonal artists come here and they curate these beautiful art pieces. And then you have sigil work, right? So like sigil work is really important to ritualist Satanists. And some people have their own sigils. Some people go off of sigils like the Baphomet. So basically this sigil that I have is called the Satanic Power Symbol. and it was Anton LaVey's personal symbol. So it's an inverted star with a lightning bolt in it, and that lightning bolt goes downwards because it grounds you as a Satanist. They all mean something different to everyone, so yeah.
Wait, so is this more of an art museum or a temple?
Right now, it's the daytime, so they gotta make money, honey. When they turn the lights down, that's when the magic happens. And speaking of the magic...
This is the Baphomet right here, designed by Mark Porter in Florida, of all places. We have some people that had donated, if you come look on the back, in the secret spot that nobody looks at.
So basically, the Baphomet originally was created by an occultist called Eliphas Levi. He was the first person to draw the Baphomet, not with the little children, that's added on by the Satanic Temple. But Baphomet was basically trans, right? It had this male body of a goat, but he also has boobies.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't have boobies.
No.
To me, the Baphomet represents a lot of different things. It represents to me the duality of just being a human, right? Especially nowadays, everyone's sexuality and preferences on blast. I think that all of us have some feminine and male divine energy within us, and I think the Baphomet represents that.
Hail Satan. How does one become a Satanist?
Satanists are born, not made. When I first read the Satanic Bible at 13, it made sense to me. And then when I read the Satanic Witch, it really started to make sense to me because I never read an occult book that was written for women. That really solidified me as being a Satanic Witch. It taught me how to use my attributes and my sexuality and my sensuality. And even if people think I'm dumb, let them think you're dumb, because you can use it to your advantage.
It's crazy to me how publicly the Satanic Church operates in this day and age, because back in the 80s and 90s, a wave of fear called the Satanic Panic swept across America.
Warning signs of satanic behavior may be apparent.
People believed there were secret cults abusing kids, performing rituals, and hiding in plain sight.
Smurfs carry a homosexual connotation in that most of them are male. I believe so.
None of it was ever proven, but that didn't stop the media, the courts, and the churches from turning it into a full-blown hysteria, not unlike the witch trials or communist Red Scare.
So what happened to Anton LaVey during this time is basically they almost destroyed the Church of Satan. And it's really important that we take a moment to focus on this, because this place wouldn't be here if he didn't fight for Satanism during that time.
Do you think there'll be another Satanic Panic?
I hope not in my lifetime, but if it is, honey, I'm coming. I'm gonna come for you. Find me, fight me.
I love that.
The Satanic Temple uses art as well to make a political statement, right? It's not about you. There's not a Satanist that you've met in your life probably, or even a trans person or someone that thinks differently that's done something bad to you. You know, I'm not here to do anything bad to anyone. I'm actually doing very good, positive things in the world, and I don't judge you, so please don't judge me, and we can all get along. So that's how I kind of feel about it. And hail Satan. When Satanism was created in the 60s, you have to think of the climate. That 1966 in San Francisco was free. Sexuality is a part of our rituals, sexual freedom, you know, like if someone comes up to me and they're a sex worker, cool, I don't have any, you know, beef with that. Like whatever sexual empowerment makes you great, as long as you're not like going behind somebody's back and their husband or something, you know, like let's not do that, it's not cool. But I'm probably not gonna judge you, but I take sexualism from Satanism and I definitely use it as a ritual on stage as a burlesque dancer. One of my most famous acts is me stripping as a stripping devil. When I was in high school, I ended up getting arrested for something that I did in school because I was gothic and I had serial killers A to Z in my book bag and the Satanic Bible and some Marilyn Manson lyrics. I became a victim of the Satanic Panic. They shipped me to a mental institution for 3 months, trying to whitewash me of Satanism. We'll see how that worked, right? When I got on probation, a part of my probation was that I had to have normal hair color and I couldn't wear any black. Yes, they can actually do that there. And the day that My probation was over. I dyed my hair black. I was wearing like vinyl to school. And then the officer that arrested me somehow ended up coming to my school and saying, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And said, oh, I'm concerned about you. They called me and told me that you went back to yourself today. And I was like, yeah, myself. And he basically sat me down and took Polaroid photos of me for his book on cults that he was going to write. And from that day forward, I never went to high school again, because my mom came and signed me out, and I got my GED, and I left school because of the way that I was treated.
It makes you stronger.
It does. If that didn't change me, nothing will, sweetheart.
So the word cult gets thrown around a lot. Not only with Satanism, with everything. Everything's a cult, everything's a cult.
The word occult scares people, and I think the word cult has been overused so much also by the media. A cult is a group of people that believe and have esoteric beliefs of one thing or another. It doesn't have to be one specific thing. A cult is just a umbrella statement, right?
A cult.
Cult, it didn't come from Manson, but Manson made it popular in modern times. So when you look at me, do you think of Charles Manson?
No.
Thank you.
You're not a serial killer.
So I'm not a cult member, even though people think I am. If I was in the Manson family, then I would be a cult member. Does that make sense to y'all?
It makes sense to me.
Cool.
Whether you see it as trolling or a form of protest, Satanism today is less about the devil and more about the separation of church and state. From courtroom battles to community outreach, they're using shock to spark change. Satanism might be about personal freedom, but our final stop is a group that uses total isolation and polygamy to control every part of life.
Realize, young ladies, the best thing is to leave your life in the hands of God through His prophet.
America's scariest cult is in a small town in Arizona, where child trafficking, arranged marriage, and having multiple wives is the norm.
You know, because I ended up with 35 siblings.
This town is ruled by the FLDS, or the Fundamentalist Church of Latter-day Saints, the most extreme branch of Mormonism. Its members idolize a man named Warren Jeffs, a religious leader on the FBI's most wanted list, who is now serving a life sentence in prison for sex crimes against children. I want to learn more about the dark side of polygamy in America, so I'm driving to the FLDS headquarters right now to talk to survivors and expose the truth. I'm kicking off this story in my hometown of Phoenix, Arizona, where I'm driving 6 hours north to a little place called Colorado City, which is right on the border with Utah. I'm gonna be meeting up with a guy named Sam who left the community, but is kind enough to meet me there and take me around the bizarre community that he grew up in. After 6 long hours, I have finally made it in Colorado City. Man, Arizona's a big state. Woo! First impressions are bland. Not a whole lot going on out here. I'm meeting Sam up at the park, the only park in the community. There he is. What's up, man?
No, man,
Great to meet you. How you doing?
Great. Welcome to Colorado City.
Thanks, dude. All right, so Sam, this is like a park. This is just a park.
This is the park. This is Cottonwood Park. So this is where, back in those days when I was a kid, all of the big events were held. It wasn't the same as when Warren took over.
Right.
When Warren took over, everything came collapsing down.
What year was that?
So he took over in about 2002.
So when he took over, that was like a huge thing.
Oh, it was. Well, because his father, Rulon Jeffs, was the prophet before him. And Rulon Jeffs was very well respected in town.
What do you mean by prophet? Like Jesus prophet?
Well, not quite, although some people would say that they are just as important as Jesus. But yes, so they were the prophet, meaning the leader of all of the people. They claimed to be talking for God. And I mean, I remember Warren Jeffs standing at the pulpit preaching to us, and he would sit there and pause for a minute and kind of bow his head. And my parents, especially my mother, would tell me that he was receiving revelation in that moment.
Really?
That God was saying, this is what you need to say to your people, and then he would say it to us. So he was claiming to speak for God directly.
It gives me the goosebumps because of just thinking about the power. It's almost like totally engulf a community and they are the Lord to a community.
100%,
right?
Yes. Warren Jeffs was, as a king, a ruler, a god, people would obey everything he said to do, including law enforcement.
Including
that were local here.
The FLDS church owned this city.
Yes.
Until when?
The UEP stands for the United Effort Plan. And that was put together by the FLDS church as a trust that owned all of this property.
Got it.
And of course, guess who was the leader of that trust? Warren Jeffs was in charge, right? He owned everything.
You mean he, as a person, literally owned it? He was the owner, the landlord, everything.
Yep.
The boss.
He made all of the people, they're very industrious here. A lot of people have or had big companies, like construction companies. Right. And he made all of them sign those companies over to the trust so that he could even own that.
So did anyone feel like they were being scammed, or they just went with it?
No one felt like they were being scammed, including myself, until you left. Mm-hmm. Once you left and looked back, then you realize, oh, what the heck was going on there?
It's so weird this is happening in my state. I mean, I grew up in Phoenix. Like, we're from the same state, but this is like a world away, man.
Right, right.
You give this lesson today, young people. We have to teach you how to think and how to live in a pure way.
So this is it. This is the famous meeting house, which you can see is being torn down and redone. It's kind of cool. It's a bittersweet thing because this meeting house is so iconic to me and to this community because of all of the memories here. I mean, meeting was a big part of being a member of the FLDS church. Every Sunday and every Saturday we would hold meetings here. Now, the cool thing is the community is turning this into a community rec center. That's why you see some of the demolition happening here. You see these back doors? Mm-hmm. These back doors were the back doors that leaders of the church would escape law enforcement. So like Warren Jeffs, like I said, was on the FBI's most wanted list. And I remember very specifically one day we were in a meeting, and it was during the closing prayer, and all of a sudden we heard just a loud commotion from the doors right over here, which we'll see in just a minute. And we had bodyguards, FLDS bodyguards, not allowing FBI or law enforcement to come in. By the time we looked up to see what was going on, all of the leaders of the church were gone off the stand. They were gone, and they disappeared out these back doors here.
That are now ripped up, yeah.
Yep, and jumped on their vehicles and went down into the creek that runs through town and escaped law enforcement. They had a plan.
Fascinating, man.
Yep. These were the doors right here. The door that you see propped open, where the law enforcement tried to get in. Hey, check this out. Do those look like bullet holes to you?
Yeah. Are they?
If I had to guess.
All right, we can't go inside, but we can get a look from here. There it is. It's cool that you have these mountains that are just surrounding the town. They're not in the distance. It's like I could walk there.
Yep. Well, it's funny you say that in front of this mountain here, because that mountain there is the very mountain that we were not allowed to hike.
Oh, as a kid?
As a kid, and no one was allowed to hike it because we were told. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, yeah.
Okay, so Book of Mormon is a scripture along with the Bible, and in the Book of Mormon, they talk about these robbers, these evil men that would go and steal and kill, and they were called the Gadianton robbers. We were told that mountain right there still possesses their spirits, and that if we hiked it, we would either be captured or killed. Maybe there was something hiding in that mountain from leaders, and so that's why. But anyway, after I had left the church at age 18, I came back a couple years later and hiked the mountain just to prove a point, and here I am.
Did you find anything?
Well, I mean, I guess, would you know if you're possessed by a spirit? I'm just kidding.
This video is about to turn really sour.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Is it weird to be walking around this town right now?
Well, I was just gonna say that, and especially right here. I mean, we walk on this parking lot. This used to be packed full of cars. I mean, every single Sunday, you couldn't find a spot, so you'd have to park down the street and then walk into these doors right here. And these doors that now just look like, yeah, this is just some abandoned weird building. When we were going to church here, we were told that if we could see the evil angels waiting for us outside these doors after hearing the word of God and the prophets speak, we would never dare walk out those doors because they were there trying to tempt us and convince us to do bad things. And so that's a way they convinced us to try harder, to pray more, to be more obedient and those kinds of things.
Dude. All right, so where are we heading now?
So now I figure we will head to the home that was being built for Warren Jeffs and his many wives. But he never actually stayed there because it was completed after he was in prison. Now, why would they continue building it even though he was put in prison? Because the FLDS people believed for many years and still believe to this day After Warren was put in prison, they were told, and we were told, that he was going to break free. That God was going to break down the prison walls, and he would come back and leave.
Let me tell you something, he ain't getting out of that prison cell.
No, he is not. But they believe to this day that he is.
And they believe, like, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people, 5,000 people. Who's they?
So, well, that's a great question. When I was out here, there were between 10 to 15,000 at one point.
Got it.
At this point, people that strongly believe in Warren Jeffs as the prophet and would still do anything he tells them to do is about 2,500.
And they're in Texas, right?
No, they're all over the place.
Okay. But Warren doesn't have communication anymore with these people.
Well, he does, unfortunately.
Really?
He's been writing what he calls revelations in prison since the moment he was put in there. And during the time of COVID, he would call and preach to his followers for hours on the phone. And they would sit there and listen to him.
This is not a test. This is a revelation from the Lord God of heaven.
They let him do that? But the reason they put him in prison is because of his wrongdoings. So why would they let him keep doing it?
So that is the question.
From what I heard, you guys didn't celebrate Christmas?
Oh, no. No, Christmas was a big, bad holiday in our minds. It was something that was very worldly, created by the world. We were told it isn't even when Jesus Christ was born, so it's not even anything about Jesus. People just want to go spend money and get things.
What did you celebrate?
We celebrated, and this was during the time of Rulin' Jeffs. Warren Jeffs put an end to all fun. Even the word fun, Warren Jeffs took it out of our vocabulary and said we cannot say that.
What?
He said that if we are enjoying something, we can say enjoyable, but not fun. He said that fun is for the world. We should be working and doing things for God only, not out there having fun.
Dude, that is Kim Jong-un style, man.
Yeah.
So what holidays did you celebrate?
So we celebrated the 4th of July, the 24th of July is when Utah became a state. And then we had a harvest festival.
So you guys were patriotic to your nation?
We were, yes. Well,
kind of.
Once again, that was taken away once Warren Jeffs came into power. He took away all of that. But when I was a young boy, we did celebrate those holidays. But Warren Jeffs, when he became prophet, he shut this whole library down. He didn't want anyone, once again, kind of North Korea style, reading outside stuff. The only thing we were supposed to read and listen to was music from the church and sermons from Warren Jeffs.
So you never heard of Britney Spears or Eminem or famous singers growing up?
I would hear about them from other people and whatnot, but I wasn't supposed to listen to them. The funny thing though is listening to country and Taylor Swift and Hillary Duff and that kind of thing was so wicked during the time I was here. So this is it.
Oh, this is it. We're already here. It's a hotel?
It's a hotel now. It's called the Most Wanted Hotel, named after the Most Wanted Warren Jeffs.
All right, so we are now walking inside. Whoa, look at this courtyard, bro.
Don't step in there. No, I'm just kidding.
You motherfucker, man.
This is important here. Look at this. Check this out. Okay.
It's echoing. Whoa.
Yeah. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
So look how thick these walls are.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody in a dump truck is even going to be able to plow through that.
These are 2.5 feet thick, these walls. Holy crap. Like,
so,
bro.
So it kind of looks like Warren Jeffs was building a prison, but what he was doing, he was building it like a prison in the sense that the security would be as though it was a prison. The big metal gates would open, he would pull in here, the gates would close behind him, other gates right there would open, he would get in there, and then those would close. So very secure, and that's where Warren would be staying. Over here would be for other family, like wives and things.
So he was planning to have all of his wives under one roof?
Well, if they would fit. Honestly, I'm not sure they would, because 80 is a lot. And that's the thing too, is though he had about 80 wives, the town, I was living here during that time, I had no idea that he had that many. It was all kept secret.
You thought he had 4?
Well, I knew he had more than that, but I was guessing 20s.
Okay, so this, first of all, I'm hearing echoes all over the place. This is creepy.
Let's go see if we can peek in there without getting kicked out.
Yeah, sure, we'll try. Is this a hotel room?
No, well, I don't know what it is now, honestly.
It's weird, man.
It looks like it's someone's house, but
this is so weird.
See, even after Warren would get through the second gate, then he would pull into his garage and the garage would close. So, I mean, the security, and then of course I imagine he would bring some of his wives to this home. That was the plan. He never lived here because it was completed after he was in prison.
So weird,
But just to give you an idea of security.
Yeah. I don't know what I feel like right now. I feel like I'm in North Africa. These like weird fences around buildings that are white.
Well, and something that you'll notice as we drive around town is there are some walls around properties, but not as many as there used to be.
Got it.
A lot of the walls have been taken down now. It's a nice house. It's weird. It works perfectly for a hotel because of all the long hallways and the many rooms.
Like, if I didn't know anything about Colorado City and I needed a place to crash, this is nice.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a good place to crash nowadays.
Nobody comes here because of what the building is.
No, I think that people come out here for like group service projects and things like that. I think you'll see churches, Christian churches and different churches come out with youth to help with different things. Yeah, this would have been a living room. So stages actually were pretty common in big homes as like a place for people to perform. For some reason, it was common in the FLDS for families to get up and do performances like singing or
not sexual
instrument. Well, you know, like all these hallways. This is very common in a big polygamist homes to have big long hallways with just rooms all the way down to fit people.
Do you get like weird feeling being here?
I do.
I do. The walls would speak to you.
Yeah, I mean, for an outsider or someone else, I can see.
I gotta be honest. I was driving here and there was like no accommodations. This is like a nice hotel.
Right. Yeah.
I would stay here.
So this here is Hilldale, is what we call it. In fact, there's
this is Utah?
Well, yeah, we're in Utah now.
Oh, I didn't even know we're in Utah.
Yeah, we're in Utah now. So there used to be a huge gate right here, so now we can drive in, so I'm just gonna do that and see what happens. But it used to be the clinic where all of the women would come and give birth to their children.
Really?
This building right
here. And they
here.
probably have a lot of births, so they were pumping them out.
Yep. So
were you born here?
I was.
Really?
I was born right here. In fact, these new fancy doors right here where it says Focus Eye Center, those weren't there when I was born. We would walk into the doors over here, the smaller doors, and that would take us into a waiting room and bring the baby out. We'd all pass the baby around and hold the baby, you know, because I ended up with 35 siblings. So there's a lot of that. A lot older than me too, of course.
How many of them are in the community still?
Believing in Warren Jeffs, about half. About half.
Do you still speak to them?
The ones that believe in Warren Jeffs, I'm not allowed to have any kind of communication.
They won't talk to you.
Right. Because if someone chooses to leave the community, you're not welcome back. And so you lose your family, basically, unfortunately.
Do you miss the 17 siblings that don't talk to you anymore?
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, honestly, I haven't seen them for so long. The little ones are going to be all grown up. Like, I don't even know what they would look like,
What if they still live here and you bumped into one on the street? Would it be like a weird moment?
If I recognized them, I would go on as if everything was normal and pretend that nothing had come between us and see how they would accept me. Because I'm from this place, I know that they would probably try to just turn the other way and not want to have that relationship, but that's not them, that is the teachings of the church. Yeah, so here we go. This is down the hill that leads to my childhood home.
So all these houses were members of the FLDS church when you grew up?
Oh, yes. If not current, there were some what we called apostates out here, and those are people that had left the church that still lived here, but we look down on those people.
This is it?
This is it.
All right, let's do it, man. I love how everything here is like a 2-minute drive.
Exactly, it's very close. So this here, just want to point out, it looks very different than it did when I was living here because there was a huge fence that we put in, a big stone fence that we spent a lot of time building.
But you didn't live here with 35 siblings, did you?
Well, there were probably about 20 of us in this house. So
there
was a lot.
A massive house by any means.
No, it's not. There were multiple siblings living in each room. Look at these notices on the door. I wonder what that says on there.
Looking for Sam, the polygamist.
Oh.
What?
Do I dare?
What?
I haven't walked on this step since I was 18 years old.
Really?
Yep, this will be the first time. So I guess this is the big moment for mankind.
Oh man, that must feel weird.
One small step for man.
Wow, man.
Okay, so current water restrictions. Okay, just water restriction stuff. I was hoping for like an eviction notice.
Oh no, it's totally like being renovated.
Oh, is it?
Look inside. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, it's completely being torn apart. Wow, it's weird. The window you're looking in right now was our big meeting room where we would hold our family meetings and Sunday schools and things like that. But there used to be a sign that said Zion above the door.
What does Zion mean?
Zion, if someone had Zion on their fence or on their door, it was an outward statement that I believe in and follow Warren Jeffs.
Oh, that's what that means. But is it ironic that Zion National Park is right there?
Well, people believe that in this place called Zion that will be a perfect harmony, perfect place, only righteous people living, and where God himself can dwell and visit. And that was the idea, that they were yearning or becoming Zion. This is my room through this window, and the amount of times I climbed out this window, I won't say, but don't tell my father. Yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, it's just completely torn apart.
And by the way, Sam has an awesome YouTube channel called Growing Up in Polygamy, which is how I found him. Actually, I found him through Peter Santinello's video, another YouTuber who makes great stories. Yeah. So we're all kind of YouTubers here. Man, look at dude. Even I feel crazy being here, and I've never been here before.
Yeah, you see this door right here? Mm-hmm. So there was a moment in my young teenage years where, see how it's locked? Mm-hmm. There was a moment when it was locked just like that, and my brothers dared me. They said, there's no way you could break through that door. And I got to run from about here. Should I demonstrate?
Yeah, I was going to say, please try it again, dude.
So, and I just plowed right through the door. It took down the entire frame with it. My brothers hated me because I didn't know how to fix it, so they had to. I'm just looking at these windows here, and the amount of memories and stories, it's just bizarre. I walked by this property, but I haven't walked onto the property.
Oh, you didn't
like
walk
this.
on here?
In the FLDS, the father of the home was the ruler of the home. It wasn't like, oh, hey, Dad, what's up? At least in a lot of the families.
So you called your dad father?
Yes, we were not allowed to say dad. That was considered disrespectful. Same with the mothers. It was mother, not mom. And
that's very culty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like weird that you weren't allowed to even call them mom or any other word.
Right.
Well,
right.
You had 4 moms.
Yeah, I did. So, we were all very clear on who belonged to who. So I knew who my mom was. And
what did you call your other mom?
We would call them Mother and then their first name. It was Mother Eliza, Mother Mildred, Mother Jeannie, and then my mother, Mother Yvonne. And I would call my mom Mother. I wouldn't use her first name. I would just say Mother.
And your 4 moms lived in the house with you?
Yes, they all lived here. They all had their separate room. Father had his separate room. Father never slept in the mother's rooms with them. I never saw that. And I know that things like that were very secretive in the FLDS. Right. We weren't given any type of education on sexual stuff at all. That just wasn't a topic. But I know that sometimes the mothers might go to his room, but the mothers a lot of times, in a lot of cases, would have young kids in their room sleeping with, like the infants would be in the room with the mother.
Did you have any clue that the rest of the world doesn't live like that?
Yes, when I got older, we would actually start doing construction jobs outside, like in the surrounding cities and different places. So we would meet other people.
Okay.
Now, we thought they were the strange ones, of course, and that we had it all figured out. But it was, it was just an interesting switch when I left to realize, oh, where I came from was the strange.
Right.
And most of the world doesn't live like this.
Was money ever an issue with that many kids?
It was tight. We weren't allowed to walk into the kitchen and get a snack.
Oh, interesting.
So food was at a certain time. You would come get food at that time. I got into a lot of trouble because as a growing boy, reaching this height, at one point I had to eat a lot. Or I thought, I was always hungry.
Was it like rice and beans food?
It was a lot of that kind of thing, like beans, rice. We would do lots of stews. A very common one was bread and milk.
Interesting.
Ever heard of that?
No, you dip the bread in the milk?
No, we would actually break the bread into pieces, put honey on top of the bread, and then milk, and eat it. And yes, it was soggy in 3 seconds, but we would eat it anyway.
So the answer to my question is, you did not grow up wealthy.
No.
You didn't have a lot of money.
No, we did not.
Did you ever experience like fights and childhood trauma in this house?
Oh yeah. Well, fights between siblings and things like that.
Among mothers.
The mothers were pretty dang good at keeping their opinions to themselves. And that was kind of a part of the culture. The father was in charge and the mothers would obey and enforce the father's rules.
Right.
And so they were pretty good at that. Now, were there jealousy issues and things?
Sure.
Yes, there were. But as far as siblings, with that many siblings, yeah, we fought.
And like you being the rebellious one, like if you did something wrong, like if you snuck out of the house, would you just get whacked, like physically abused, or what would happen to you?
Now, I know that some people were punished by either spankings and things like that. And when I was younger, yes, we would get spankings and we would try to be smart and hide a book in our britches, as we would say.
Sure.
And try to hurt the hand of the person that was spanking us. But for the most part, we had a pretty good childhood as far as abuse goes. It was more, you know, if we did something really bad, we'd be sat in a corner and left there as like, hey, think of like a timeout.
Sure.
Except for it was a very long timeout. No.
That's good.
No. There was a lot of abuse in the FLDS, but thankfully, in my own experience, in my family, it was not.
Good. As we walk through the quiet streets of Sam's old neighborhood, the past weighs heavily on our minds. The old buildings are reminders of a life once controlled by the strict rules of the FLDS. From Sam's childhood home to the remnants of Warren Jeff's compound, each location holds a piece of what was once a thriving Colorado city. But there are more spots around town that Sam wants to show me so I can better understand what it was like to grow up in this cut-off society. So what is this place?
So this place used to be the thrift store of the town. So a lot of people would come in here and find very inexpensive clothes. Turn, pull, push, turn, pull. It works. So you grew up in the FLDS. You know my family very well.
I knew Neil. Neil.
Yeah.
I love Neil.
That's crazy.
That so many fun memories.
Crazy. You've never met before?
I don't think we've met.
It's crazy how like you know everything about his family and he knows everything about you.
Yeah.
No, go on.
You may have seen me around the community when I was a little kid, but.
Probably. Back when I was a kid, it was a great community. We had the village to raise the child. You know, and people were just congenial. I mean, we worked really well together. And religious stuff started to get in the way, and it started separating people and feelings. And
did you know Warren Jeff?
I've never met him officially, but I do know of him.
And you were connected to him through.
I mean, if I saw him, I'd probably know who he was.
Is it not strange to grow up with molesters and
very much so. Not right to me?
Okay.
Well, I'm sure you saw the polygamy side of thing, and all of that was normal for you as well, I assume.
I loved it.
Why though?
Loved it. Because other mothers can relate to you differently than your own mom. It's just that
you had another.
This other mom could relate to me, and she had different talents than my mom, and so.
Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, there were definitely different talents that each mother brought to the table.
Do you still love the idea of having multiple mothers?
Totally.
This is so bizarre to meet a woman from the FLDS church who runs this shop and hearing her talk about growing up here. I can't believe that I'm getting this on camera right now. It's bizarre.
The idea of having more than one wife is an absolute no for me. So I wonder if that's the same for you. Like being a sister wife, for you personally, is that something that you would still be interested in?
Major.
Really? Interesting, okay.
Totally.
Do you think others feel the same way?
But you know what? It's going to have to be on very strict terms.
Right.
And that is, it's not going to be something where somebody, like the placement marriage things that they force people into and they guilt people into and shame them into. And I mean, we could go on with a few more adjectives on that.
So you want to choose your husband?
Absolutely. I think every woman should. I don't buy with the placement stuff, but I got married by getting on my knees. And I knew, and I didn't go into the brethren and say, tell me who to marry. But I absolutely want other ladies in my life.
Can I ask you a question about Warren Jeffs? So he had 80 wives. You don't think that's too much? Like, is that not kind of crazy? Is that crazy to you? Like, where do you draw the line?
I think it's sick and wrong how Warren got his.
Yeah.
And the guilt and the shame and how he treated them, and there's a whole bunch of story around that, so I can't just give you a simple answer.
Sure. Yeah. You don't think it's weird for the husband, for the man to have multiple wives, but the wife can't have multiple husbands?
No. I don't think that's weird. Look in the animal kingdom. That's how a lot of the animal kingdom is.
True.
I'm not saying in every situation of the animal kingdom, but the animal kingdom has one male and a herd of women. And they go and butt their heads and their antlers and do whatever, and I'm gonna dominate, you know, and that's gonna be the seed that's passed on to ensure that they have a strong genetic makeup.
And we are animals at the end of the day.
Another thing too is it's hard to say, oh, I wish I didn't grow up in polygamy, because that would take away a lot of my siblings that I have. That would take away the relationships I had with my mothers in the home. So, you know, it's tricky because I would never want to have multiple wives myself, But if I did, then I would also have children saying, I can't imagine life without it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing to navigate, right? To say whether or not it's good or bad or all that. I think it's just up to people's personal beliefs and what they think is best for themselves.
Well, I absolutely 100% agree with people should choose and have the life that they want.
Same.
Right.
So you would allow your husband to have another wife?
Absolutely.
So how would it happen if the time ever happened? What would need to happen for another woman to come in?
Lots of prayers and somebody knowing where they're going. And
Take care.
I still love Marilee.
Whoa, we gotta talk.
A lot to talk about, right? I guess it just goes to show once again, when you're raised in something and that's all you know and you believe it is the best life because that's what you have experienced, then that's what you want. In her case, it seems
mind-blowing, dude. That was super interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So different buildings throughout the town were used for homeschooling.
That was your homeschool?
That was one of the ones I attended, yes.
You seem to be really educated now and you know everything, and obviously you've learned a lot since you left the community, but like growing up in a school where you're being taught by your sister, you must have not learned that much.
I didn't get much of an education, no. Not when I was out here. By the time I was a young teenager, I was out on job sites working full time. But since I left, I did go and get my GED and went to college and got a degree. So this is Rulon Jeff's home, or was his home, and Warren Jeffs had an office in here as well. So Rulon Jeffs was the prophet before Warren Jeffs, and one of my sisters married Rulon Jeffs when she was about 18 or 19 years old, and my sister married him when Rulon Jeffs was about 80 years old. And I believe she was his 60th wife.
Your sister was 18?
One of my sisters, and she was my full-blooded sister as well.
What did you think about that when she married him?
Well, interestingly, I thought it was this huge honor for her, and that, I believe, is how she felt too, that she was marrying the prophet of God. Looking back now, maybe there were some concerns that she had about it, but I'm just not sure. I never asked her. I just assumed she was honored to marry the prophet of God. Exact white door right there I had walked through to meet Rulon Jeffs and Warren Jeffs. It is just weird to see that door now and to think of all the things that were going on in there.
Your sister that married Rulon Jeff, have you spoken to her? Is she still in the community?
I'm not in contact with her right now.
Do you think she still believes in Warren Jeffs?
I think she does, yes. I know now, during that same time, Warren Jeffs was doing awful things, molesting his own children in some cases, at least as the courts and documents would state. And
during the time you met him?
During that time.
That's crazy, bro.
So it's crazy that in my mind, I thought I was having this spiritual, holy experience with him, and behind closed doors, awful things were going on.
We just rolled up to another place called Patty's Place, this purple building, rumored to be owned by FLDS, which we're about to find out.
See if Patty's here.
Smells really good in here.
Good.
But are you from here as well?
I'm not from here.
Okay.
But I've been here for 40 years.
Oh, you're basically from here. Yeah. You never left during all the height of everything?
No. So we didn't sign the tenant at will because we didn't agree with it.
Oh, really?
A lot of people went up to court over it.
Interesting.
Our family wasn't one, but they took us to court and they took our home.
They just took your home?
Yeah.
Like, you woke up one day and...
Well, they took us to court and the court says you have no standing because you
believers.
built on UEPL.
Did you ever meet Warren Jeffs?
I couldn't even stand listening to you. He has this way of talking.
Really?
Yeah. Keeping sweet is an exertion to remain clean and pure. And if you're not keeping sweet, then you're not pure.
Our conversation with the woman at the shop leaves us in shock. Her story peels back the layers of the church's grip on its followers, highlighting the devastating impact of Warren Jeffs' rule. Reflecting on this journey, it's clear that the FLDS operated not just as a religious community, but as a cult, a system designed to control and manipulate its followers for the benefit of its leader. The scars of this toxic environment run deep, etching themselves into both the physical surroundings of this town and the psyche of those who once called it home. But despite this trauma, we encountered encountered a few people who give us hope for the future of Colorado City. We're about to meet up with Warren Jeff's 65th wife for a rare interview, as she reminds us that in the face of so much destruction, there is room for redemption.
Well, this here is Warren Jeff's old home. And I met Warren Jeff himself in his backyard here. I helped my brother do the landscaping and things like that.
That's so bizarre, dude.
And so, yeah, I met many of his wives. I met his brothers. I met him, Warren Jeffs himself out here. He was playing tennis one day in his backyard. And so, yeah, we would see him around.
It's definitely a mansion.
It's definitely bizarre. Every time I come back, just the feelings of being on the property that Warren Jeffs himself lived at. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, this is wild, man.
Hey, there she is.
Hi. How are you?
Drew, Brielle, how are you?
Pleasure to meet you.
Good to see you too.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
I've heard so much about you.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah.
Once a symbol of oppression, the 44-room mansion that was occupied by Warren Jeffs and his multiple wives has undergone a remarkable transformation. The Dream Center, as it is now called, is a sanctuary for people fleeing the church. Led by Brielle Decker, Warren Jeff's 65th wife, the center offers transitional housing and education, combats addiction, and aids victims of human trafficking. To me, it is crazy to think that the home that once trapped Brielle now helps others get out.
How long did you live here with Warren Jeffs?
4 months.
Okay, so 4 months with Warren. And
Well, he wasn't really here, but his family was.
okay, at that time he was kind of on the run.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I married him after he was the prophet, so he was already on the
So
run.
did he go on the run almost immediately after he became prophet, or was it a little bit later?
It was almost immediately.
Okay, that's what I thought. So like 2002, 2003.
Yeah, it was September, and then my birthday was in November, and I married him in January.
Okay.
So I turned 18.
I was just about to say, how old were you when you married him?
Yeah, I turned 18. So the fathers had a lot more say, kind of before that.
Mm-hmm.
When Rulin was the prophet, they could tell the prophet when their daughter was old enough or when they
Right.
felt like they were ready. But when Warren became the prophet, he called up the fathers and said, "Your daughter is ready." So it put him in a really tight position, because if they didn't go along with it, they could lose all their children all at the same time. This is the men's floor. The men stay down here.
Like, are you talking about currently staying or before?
Yeah,
Okay.
and before the boys.
Before.
This, I don't know if I showed you this when you were here.
No.
This is like all this wiring. And when the first directors came, they hired some people to come in and try to organize this. And they walked out and they were like, "What is going on in there?" And they're like, "We just barely bought this place." And they're like, there was illegal wires tapped the whole city.
So the whole city was being spied on, huh?
Yeah.
Who orchestrated that?
That was Warren Jeffs and his whatever he did. I
He
don't know.
put illegal wiring to spy on everybody?
In the town, yeah, so he could tap their phone lines.
Did you know that?
So I had heard rumors. I didn't know about the phone lines.
So he could listen to anyone's conversation.
Yeah. And one time they went through a tour, and there was a lady from the community in the tour, and they kind of explained that, and she just went, "Oh my goodness, that's how he knew." And she was like talking about how he called her out in church one time and told her she was talking to a boy on the phone. And he told her it was God who told him.
Of course.
And so she believed this whole time that she was denying God and running from God and all this stuff, and then she finds out later that he was just tapping the phones.
But it just goes to show that that's how he was able to convince so many people that he was hearing from God and he was being directed by God.
He was listening to them.
He was listening in and spying on us.
I feel like it's so manipulative, and also like how he would watch the news and tell everybody else not to. He had so many tactics.
So how does that make you feel, though?
Me,
Yeah.
I feel like it's really sad to think about like how many people were like basically deceived, because he was lying to them, you know.
Yeah.
But when you were married to him, you didn't know he was lying at all. You thought he was.
Well, I learned in about the first 2 years, he didn't line up, because he acts different than he teaches. You couldn't talk about it. So like the day I married him, I started seeing red flags.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like what? Do you mind me asking?
Well, he sent me home on the first night because I hesitated to get close to him, and I was like, well, it's my first wedding and his 65th or whatever, so he was just really angry at me. And I didn't know why. Later, I figured out he was punishing me by sending me home. And then the next day, he sent me to a few meetings, and one of them was a secret meeting that he talked about when he took his children from this property, because this is where they lived before he became the leader. He said that he was taking them away from this property because he was running from the law. He didn't want to be questioned by the law
about where he was. So I started seeing red flags right off, but it took me a time to give up the God that I'd been taught about my whole life. And so I went to Alta Academy. My first grade teacher was his first wife. So I don't have like the same type of story as the people down here. Most people down here talk about how when Warren Jeffs became the leader, there was a big shift. For me, there wasn't really a big shift because we had been groomed to believe he was going to be the next prophet, basically. I became a target really fast in his family, and he put me on a pedestal and said, "Don't be like her." And so that it was really bad.
So you were the unique one.
Yeah, because I didn't want to follow along with all of his stuff that he was doing, and they didn't know why. The rest of the family just figured I must have done something bad.
Interesting.
And he doesn't have to. Warren Jeffs doesn't have to have a reason.
Were other people targeted besides you, or just you?
I don't know because I was in survival mode. Like I was fighting for my life every single hour sometimes.
Like you thought you were actually gonna die?
They threatened me at times.
Sounds like you got treated a lot worse than his other wives.
I think I was his most hated wife. And I like it now.
Yeah, I was just about to say, definitely a secret closet, yeah. What's happening in
This
here?
is under the front porch.
What does that mean?
So like it was a secret room, and these things, there's a latch under it. You can't see the latch.
What do you think was kept back here?
I think of records.
Oh, the records of the church and
The
stuff.
marriages and all of that stuff. And there was, when we first got here, I don't know if it's still there, but there was a tape down there that said masks on it.
Yeah.
So you said you asked what things were found, and they were the documents and recordings and all the things that Warren Jeffs had his scribes and had people record of the abuses and things that he was doing to underage women or girls.
Did you know the 12-year-old? Were you?
I did know her. I met her before, but I wasn't in the room when all that stuff happened. But I did go into the introduction and figured out what was going on, and that's when I fought him after that. Yeah. So I think I was the only wife that successfully avoided him after that, because I did see women crying. I did see mothers in really tight positions, like you think about the littler kids on the property that they already gave birth to, and he's bringing them now because they're worthy now to come see their kids after this long space of time. And they're put into this really traumatic situation, and they have to choose if they're going to follow along with abusing these 12-year-olds and leave their kids in a vulnerable situation, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. If they leave the property, so if they fight Warren Jeffs, they leave the property and their littler kids are more vulnerable.
All right, this was his room?
Yeah, this was his room. It's super small.
There was extra padding, extra soundproof.
Yeah, right here, the bar.
On the bottom of the door here.
This is the only intercom with an on and off switch in the house.
So he had power over the intercom.
Everybody else couldn't talk in it, where he was the only one that had the power to talk.
Have you guys searched all the little parts of the wall? He's probably in his prison cell, with an earpiece in.
Yeah.
How many of Warren Jeffs' 80 wives did you know personally, or did you meet?
I knew all of them.
Were you ever together in one room?
I don't think so, because he had them spread out. But
was there drama amongst the ladies?
I'm sure there was, but like I said, I was in survival mode most of the time. So a lot of them I don't think dared.
Do you think
some of them are nice?
Were they friendly with each other, or they're kind of nah, I don't want to be your friend. We compete.
It depends on who it is. You kind of get to know their characters and what things stay and what things kind of fade over time.
Right.
You kind of learn patterns really good, because we moved a lot, but we didn't move like people out here to a new location with new neighbors and new environment and new resources. Right. We always had the same people.
And when you're with them in person, are things feeling normal?
For me, it was different than most of them. For me, I actually would hide from him. I would go in the closets and close the door and read.
You must have been the only one doing that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was always, I wasn't really attracted to him. So when I would walk in the room, it would freeze. Both of us would just freeze, and it kind of created a tension immediately. He was so mad about that, because I was his wife. So that's not supposed to happen.
Why did you feel forced to marry him? Because it sounds like from the get-go you weren't interested in him and you didn't care about him. So why did you marry him?
Well, I married him because it's arranged marriage, and when I went in to talk to him, I had premonitions as a child. I believe there were premonitions. I would dream that I was in a darkly lit room, dimmed the lights, and Warren Jeffs was in the front. And it was weird because the prophet was ruling, and he would ask me, "Who do you think God wants you to marry?" And I would wake up every time at that point. And when I got closer to being 18 years old, I worried that he wouldn't just tell me. Some people he just tells. And so he'd put it on me. And what happened when it was a darkly lit room, he was the one sitting there because he had just become the prophet. And he said, who does God want you to marry? And it just like,
Whoa.
I turned away and I said, I wondered if I was supposed to go in the family with my sister. But when it actually happened, I just said, I wondered if I was supposed to go in that family. He said I had a strong testimony. He had the ultimate say in every marriage. But it was kind of like a catch-22 because like, he also had the doctrine of like, if you ask to marry him, it's like a really bad thing.
Right.
But if you lie to God, then, but he's the one that groomed me, so because I didn't want to lie to him because that's also a punishment. He didn't even ask me if I wanted to.
He just took you to the wedding ceremony?
Yeah, he's like, he called in his brother. He said, let's get my brother, and he called him in. And because my father was there, my mother never got invited to the wedding.
So
also.
that happened
So
the same time that question he asked you, then you went straight to the ceremony?
Yeah, he didn't ask me if I wanted to. He just said, who do you think God wants you to marry? And he's like, oh, you have a strong testimony.
And you just like went with it?
Well, I didn't want to, like...
you can't just...
Yeah, you can't. Well, I could have said no at the ceremony, but like I knew the punishment would be outweighed. Like if I deny the prophet, the punishment could be I'd never get married. I'd just stay in my father's home, which wasn't
When
really
you
a
got
good thing
married,
for
were
me.
you emotional? Like at most people's weddings, they like...
I was in shock. Yeah.
And then you got married and then you walked out of the room and you were like,
no,
oh my
he
God.
sent my father, he sent all the people out. And then he turned to me and he said, come sit on my lap. And I just hesitated, and that's when I saw the anger in his
That
face.
was the hesitation that you were talking about before?
Yeah.
It is just bizarre to me to think that his way of getting so many people to marry him, so many young girls or young women to marry him, was simply by forcing them to think that it was coming from God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then him just forcing it upon them without any question or hesitation. So it doesn't sound like it was much of a choice for any of these 81. Well,
yeah, I don't
maybe
think
the
so.
first couple, I don't know about those.
I don't think so.
And a lot of these 80 wives are still idolizing him today.
I don't know if they are. I kind of wonder if they really do, but they are claiming they do.
What do you think?
I've talked to a recent inside source.
Yeah.
I can't say names here, unfortunately, but that there are still a large amount of wives that are still waiting for him to break free from prison and come be their husband and prophet again.
Yeah.
And that they are still hoping and holding on to that.
Well, they can't tell everyone.
Yeah.
Unless they make a change.
Right.
But like the real thing is like I think he scared them pretty bad with what he was doing.
Sure.
And he told them things like, you're an accomplice, the world doesn't want you, stuff like that. So like they really believe, they don't know anything else. They think if they come out here, they're going to go to prison.
Right.
We are told that we are going to be on Satan's ground, which means that you're going to become an apostate.
Right.
You're going to become this awful person that the world is going to basically eat you up.
Yeah.
And so I can understand why I'd be so fearful. Was that the same for you, or were you so past his teachings that you just wanted to get free at that point?
Well, for me, I felt like I knew that I hadn't been a full accomplice.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't worried about more papers being dug up and everything on me.
I see.
What I try to tell him is like, if you got an attorney outside of the church and fought your case, a lot of them would win. Like a lot of them were coerced into it, and force, fraud, and coercion is a factor in the trafficking laws, which what they go by now. So I have personally testified against Warren in federal court, like 2 years ago, just for credibility reasons, mostly. We were awarded an amount, but we don't plan on seeing it because it's all hidden in his members' names and everything. But for credibility reasons, it does help me because I'm the only 18-year-old that has testified against Warren.
Really?
Yeah, of his wives. And there was one other person in the class action that was an underage bride.
It must be hard to have proof in form of like photos and videos because that was like shunned.
Yeah, for me, I didn't have anything when I escaped. I escaped out a window and was terrified of being caught.
Where did you go when you left the window?
I ran to a family that I knew had left the church altogether.
Got it.
So I went to this specific house. Right before I got there, there was a lady in her backyard meditating who was dressed ex-FLDS. I ran through her backyard and she's like, can I help you?
Oh my God.
And I was like,
I need help.
So she drove me up to the house I was going to, and she asked if she could come in or not, and I said, you might as well come in. So she came in. The family I was with, talking to, asking them for help, they didn't know any phone numbers of any small organizations on the outside. They had just recently left.
Wow.
So, but the lady who came in with me did. So she ended up calling some organizations. And
So you got help?
So I got help that day. So, yeah.
So do you think that because of the rumors Warren Jeffs was spreading about you, that all FLDS people to this day believe that you're just some crazy person spreading lies?
Yeah, he doesn't really target me the same way as he targets most ex-FLDS, because he said so much in the beginning that I was crazy and that they needed to hunt me. They chased me, they put me on the missing list, they did so much stuff in the beginning. Most people, when they start to fight the church, they get like blacklisted in the church. They say, don't listen to their master deceiver. But for me, they haven't done that. They just keep saying she's crazy. But even though I was awarded the house, and this is now a recovery place, they kind of attack the house situation, say it was stolen from them, and they kind of even blame so the activist that took me in, later on, her name is Kristen Decker, she legally adopted me. And so I would never have the risk hanging over my head of being like brought back to the FLDS if I ended up in the hospital or something too long, and it defaults to a family member to make a decision. Now it will default to my husband or my adoptive family.
You're married now?
Yeah, I'm married. I've been married like 7.5 years.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Things are looking up for you. It's
and
amazing.
you're totally non-believer in everything that you grew up believing.
Right, but I do believe in like Bible more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you married Warren Jeffs, did you change your last name to Jeffs?
Not legally.
Not legally, but people would call you Jeffs, but it wasn't. So the ID you talked about that you forgot to take with you had your maiden name on it?
Yeah, Warner.
Okay.
So my name, I did change my social, was legally adopted, and changed my name. So if you look up Warren Jeffs' wives, I was Lynette Warner. Now I'm Brielle Decker Blanchard.
Wow. So. Do the other mothers that are married, like the second, third, fourth mother or beyond, do they change their last name legally?
They can't legally.
Okay.
So in the church they're called Jeffs, but outside of the church they're called their maiden names.
So, and that goes for the other wives and other husbands throughout the community?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure about that.
The first wife is the only one that changes it. So
I
the
see.
only one that could be legal.
How does your husband now feel about all this, that you were married to Warren Jeffs?
Oh, he's really quiet about like most things, but
it's good.
He's really good to me.
I'm so happy for you that you were able to put that life behind you, or at least most of the baggage behind you, and moving on to a happier version of yourself.
Yeah, and we have a house, our own house in town.
Nice. Are you worried that you're gonna get a knock on your door someday and like someone, like any of that? Do you think about that stuff?
I do. It's impossible not to think about it, I think, but it's not like I live in fear. You know, I just do the best I can, and you know, whatever happens, happens, because there's always going to be angry people. There's always going to be people who don't see it your way.
But the fact that you're public and willing to speak about this on camera means that you're putting yourself out there, but they don't consume social media, and they probably won't even see these videos.
But the ex-FLDS do.
And
there are some ex-FLDS who disagree with some of the ideas that I have, which is fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and there's also some active active FLDS people that still follow Warren Jeffs that do scour the internet to look for these people that are talking about stuff.
I feel like if you do the best you can, that's all anybody can do.
Totally agree. I'm with you there. People ask me that too. Are you afraid for your family and your life? And I say, what's the point in living in fear?
Yeah.
We're sharing messages that need to be shared. We're trying to help people where we can. And I think you're doing the same, and you've done a great job at it.
Thanks, so have you.
As I leave Colorado City, the echoes of its past still linger. But this isn't just a story of a cult's downfall. It's an account of a place once dominated by fear and control, now fighting for a future filled with hope. The survivors I met inspire me to keep making videos about marginalized people. The path to healing is long, but it's lit by those who refuse to be silenced. From the Hasidic Jews of New York to the Mennonites of Wisconsin, America has so many interesting religions. But visiting the remnants of Warren Jeffs' empire is truly shocking, and I wonder what the future holds for the FLDS. What do you think about this story? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching.